What's up, folks? How's everybody doing? Guess who's back, bro? Criminal Psychology. It's been a minute. Apparently, Criminal Psychology is like the first true crime person I started watching. And I was like, damn, I really like how he breaks shit down. And he stopped posting for like 2 years or some shit, and he's actually back. So there's this little I feel like Criminal Psychology finds the craziest interrogations, and there's no difference with the one I found. Well, I should say with the one he posted a little while ago. I want to check it out with you guys, everyone. I like these later lives. What's up, Jay Smith? How you doing? Welcome in, everybody. Red Jeep Judy, welcome in. Just Miss Jamie, welcome, welcome. Greetings, hope everybody has a good day today. Oh, everybody had a good day. You know, same old, covering stories, figuring shit out. It was a good day for me. I cannot complain. I hope you guys had a good day. Rolling up and sipping that tequila. What's up, Diamond? How you doing, man? Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I actually have a friend dropping some stuff off later, so I'm gonna run back in type shit, but it's not gonna be long. That's later on anyway. What's up, Cheryl? How you doing? Well, anyways, folks, we have a few things on the internet lately. We got some Wade Wilson going on, and there's been a lot of crazy shit happening in the body cam sector of places. But I did want to switch it up a little bit. We haven't done an interrogation in a minute, and this one is crazy. Listen, social media definitely rots people's brains if you don't pay attention and you're not very cautious about it, because we have a whole story here. I wouldn't call it social media, but the need for fame, whatever you want to call that. I don't know if that's the social media craze or if that's the reality TV star problem. I don't know what it is, but this guy got afflicted with the need for fame so crazy. I'm pretty sure some of you guys have seen this story before. Good morning from Germany. What's up, Joe? Good morning. It is a big night for us over here. It is a big time night. Big night time. Hello, AG. It's sort of late here, 1 a.m., but we are here. What's up, Jane Robertson Bloom? Okay. We got the moderator in the building. Probably the one and only moderator we'll have tonight. It's so damn late. Hold on, let me pop this chat out. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me. I need a new PC so bad, bro. And I've just been putting it off because you have to like build it. Well, I'm going to build it. But I'm about tired of this fucking setup that I have. I'm about to get a whole new setup soon. Probably by next month. We'll see. But I'm just rambling at this point. Let's check out this interrogation, ladies and gentlemen.
According to CBS News, 50-year-old stay-at-home husband David Tronis.
First and fucking foremost, 50-year-old stay-at-home husband? Okay. Now, I don't know. Hold on, let me delete this. I don't know if maybe they could have worded it differently, but 50-year-old stay-at-home husband is crazy. I mean, unless he's making money. Hold on.
According to CBS News,
why is my shit being weird?
50-year-old stay-at-home husband David Tronis desperately wanted to appear on reality television. In late
David Tronis. Ooh, let me delete some of these emails. Damn, I'm not ready. I have all types of random shit on my PC. David Tronis? Oh, was he low-key like famous? Prime Crime, season 4, episode 11. Oh no, that's from somebody else. I thought he was like, I guess he was trying to make his big break for this show. Look at this fucking weirdo. Anyways, let's get back to it.
April. According to CBS News, 50-year-old stay-at-home husband David Tronis desperately wanted to appear on reality television. In late April of 2018, he managed to secure himself a spot on the show Zombie House Flipping, where he would be featured renovating his newly bought house with his then-wife, 39-year-old financial consultant Shanti Cooper. The only problem was that Shanti wasn't nearly as interested in being on TV, so she refused to sign off on the program, which resulted in David beating and then strangling her to death in the early hours of the following morning. He called 911 roughly 12 hours later at 3:51 p.m.
I mean, God fucking forbid that I just don't want to have my face on the channel. Like, damn. Imagine I had a girlfriend and I was like, babe, I want you to appear on my YouTube channel. And she says, no, I don't want to do that. And I just smacked the shit out of her. That's crazy. I'm pretty sure it went a little bit deeper than, just that. But that's crazy in any... What is she doing? That's crazy in any respect. Angel, get out of my closet, bro. Let's go.
Hello?
She stopped breathing and trying to do CPR. I can't.
Okay, listen to me. Can you tell me what your address is?
Police and paramedics soon arrived at the residence where they were met with a hysterical David performing CPR on Shanti in the living room. His immediate explanation was that he found her lying unconscious in a partially filled bathtub, bleeding from the nose and mouth. He was then taken to the police station as a witness, where they swapped out his blood-stained clothing for a custody suit. He was also given a water, a blanket, and a box of tissues, then taken to room 6, where he was reassured that someone would be right with him to answer his questions, which wasn't entirely true. He was left in there by himself for 4 hours and 9 minutes before he knocked on the door to use the bathroom.
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry to bother you. May I go to the bathroom?
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
It wouldn't take a genius to recognize that David's behavior is already suspicious. Ask yourself if you'd be acting like this in the scenario he's claiming to be in. You find your significant other unresponsive in a bathtub. Then police leave you in a cold room for 4 hours without telling you anything. You might just ask someone, what the hell is going on? Or what the status of your wife is, and you probably wouldn't be all that polite and apologetic for just trying to use the bathroom. He returns from the bathroom and sits there for another 3 minutes. The detectives will now enter the room to commence the interrogation. The time is 9:08 p.m.
Okay, that was a good setup. They always do that shit. I swear, that's their number one tactic. If they think that you're a suspect, best believe you're going to be sitting in that room for a long-ass time. A long-ass time, you know what I'm saying? And it's definitely odd that he would just sit there compliantly. If I was in there, after about 15, 20 minutes, I'm already trying to figure out what's going on. Especially if I just, especially if I just came home and my wife was dead. Bleeding in the tub, water halfway filled, bleeding in the tub. What's the explanation? She fell? I mean, come on, that doesn't make any sense.
Sir,
Hey.
I'm Detective Sprague. Can I get your first name?
First name is David.
David? Okay. We're gonna grab another chair.
Okay.
Did you need something?
I was just asking for a bottle of water.
Okay, we can grab you.
Thank you.
Have you been to the restroom?
I just want.
You just want? Okay. How about anything else? Anything else?
I'm starving. A cracker or just something.
You and
Just
me
with some
both.
salt, right?
Did you eat lunch?
Just like a cracker, like a saltine. Could you give me some saltines? Like, my appetite is really messed up. I didn't eat after I killed my wife. I killed her. And it really took a lot. What the fuck? Bro is hungry after killing this girl. That shit's crazy.
Did not eat lunch.
Don't be fooled by the detective's disposition. They're already certain that David has committed either first or second-degree murder, but they don't quite have enough evidence to place him under arrest, which is why they need a confession. David, at this moment, is still free to walk out of that police station, so the detectives will keep the tone sympathetic and non-confrontational for the time being to keep him on that chair. They'll afford him the false belief they are buying into his act as the grieving husband, but as soon as he gives them his initial version of events, the pressure will rapidly accelerate, in a manner that David is in no way anticipating.
What would you like to eat? And I'll run down.
Just something simple. Just like saltines or peanut butter crackers.
Anything
or
like
something.
that? Okay,
Yeah.
that's not a problem.
This motherfucker said, let me get the saltines or them peanut butter crackers. Goddamn, sir. A little specific there. A little specific there for not mass murderer, for a big-ass murderer. He's like, nothing crazy, just like some peanut butter saltines or maybe like, you know, those baguettes that you get from Paris. Like, what the fuck do you want? He probably wants a whole entree right now.
David is in no way anticipating.
What would you like to eat? And I'll run down.
Just something simple, just like saltines or peanut butter crackers.
Anything like that? Okay, that's not a problem. We'll be right back.
Yo, what's up, Rebecca? How you doing? You said it's 3 p.m. on a Wednesday. Just finished work. That's crazy. Shout out my Australian people, man. It's nighttime for us over here.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I take that one.
Yes.
I love that they bring 2 women, too. That's just so perfect. 2 women, you know, put your guard down, relax. Just to give us that nurturing, womanly feeling. You know what I'm saying? If they had brought a man in here, I feel like his response wouldn't have been so nice. Oh yeah, send 2 of the ladies in there. Let him get all comfortable. This shit's perfect. You said crepes would be great. What's up, Kim? Welcome in.
Okay, is that good? Okay, all right. I'm with you. I haven't eaten since this morning. I'm sorry this is taking so long. You are David?
You know what I'm saying? Perfume filling up the room. You know, she probably used some lotion or some shit. Everything's smelling nice. Hell yeah. Let's talk. Let's have a conversation. I'm so sad. Yeah, my wife was dead in the bathroom. I'm so sad about it.
All right. I'm Detective Teresa Sprague, and this is Detective Barb McClelland. First of all, on behalf of the Atlanta Police Department, we want to say how sorry we are for your loss.
So this is the first out of a total 11 of David's fake cries. Their intensity...
Hold on. Criminal psychology is actually a little throwing me off. I ain't gonna lie. Shout out criminal psychology. Is there a raw interview here? Hold on. Give me a second. Fuck. What's his name?
level will peak about halfway through this video, during some of the more embarrassing performances you're ever likely to witness on the internet. But from that moment on, you'll notice these acts steadily diminish, as the detective makes it more and more abundantly obvious that she knows he's lying.
David, and also for everything that you're going through.
Hold on, I just want to see if there happens to be a raw interview. Yeah, there we go. David Tronis. Tronnes. David Tronis. Interrogation. Why? It is 10 o'clock at night, bro. Why is my internet doing this? Jesus Christ.
Because you heard the water and didn't hear her, you felt something was wrong?
I went upstairs.
Hold on. David Tronis interrogation. Well, we'll come in on this.
True. I know this is very traumatic for you. Okay.
They start by collecting David's basic information.
Okay. Blonde or brown hair?
I love both.
Both. Okay. Hazel eyes, maybe?
I'll take hazel.
Blue, hazel. Okay.
They're dirty, but yeah.
Okay. Is there a home phone?
There is.
Okay.
I can't remember the last four digits. It's 407. The next three are easy, 704, the opposite. And I never call it.
The next three are 704?
It's 407, 704, and then I think it's 2808. It might be 2406, but I have it in my phone.
Why does bro seem mad fruity? Is it just me? Close. I'm sorry. Why does bro seem hella fruity to me? Is that what's going on? That's why he strangled the shit out of her, because he don't like her. What the fuck's going on? Hold on. Let me back it up. Bro seems mad fruity over here.
There is.
Okay.
I can't remember the last four digits. It's 407. The next three areas is 704, the opposite, and I never call it.
The next three are 704?
It's 407, 704, and then it's...
And I never call it. You know, I've lived in LA for a while. Shit. I've lived in Oakland, San Francisco, and LA. Okay? I know when there's a little sugar there somewhere. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of sugar. Sugar.
The next three are 704?
It's 407, 704, and then I think it's 2808.
I know when there's a little sweetener. You know?
It might be 2406, but I have it in my phone. I haven't. We've had it since we were at Briarcliff.
And when did you move to Florida?
In 2013,
Okay.
about 5 months after I met Shanti.
Did you meet her here or there?
Man, rest in peace to his girl, bro.
And then online? Okay. Can you tell me what you...
You said, I think he had quote-unquote entanglements with the same sex. What's up, Carol? How'd you know? How you know? Is that like rumor? Is that why they were having issues? Listen, I don't think, you know, the narrator says that he strangled her because she didn't want to be on this show. I don't know if that's the only reason he strangled the shit out of her. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, if your girlfriend says that's why you're always sucking dick or you're always sucking so-and-so's dick, that might lead you to get pushed over the edge and do something crazy. I don't know if she said anything crazy to him. I'm just saying.
Year that was?
It was 2013.
2013 is when you met online?
Yeah.
Okay. And about 5 months later, did you move here and move in with her, or just move here?
Just a hunch.
I'm trying to be as accurate as possible. I believe it was the end of September.
So you guys knew each other approximately 5 years this month.
I'd never been more in love. We were so happy.
This is the fakest cry I've ever heard. Listen, you know when people are really going through it, guilty or not, they're in the jail cell, fidgeting, twidgeting, moving up, down, all that crazy shit. The man breaks into tears the second they start talking about his girl. Every once in a while, he'll just break into tears. That's not how it works. You have to work yourself there. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
If you don't, I know you've probably never been through anything like this in your life, okay? And I'm going to help you get through it. So if you have questions...
Okay, give me a second. My friend just pulled up. I shall be back. It will take me 2 minutes. If you leave, you fake as fuck. Just saying. Just saying. function? Where the fuck the function? Alright, I'm back. Alright. He said AG got about his business again. We back. What are you talking about, bro? What do you mean? I went to the bathroom. I went to use the bathroom. I don't know what you guys are talking about. That's the longest piss in the history of taking a piss. I ain't gonna lie. No, I went downstairs real quick. I'm back. But anyways, let's get back to it. It's literally the same number of people, so you guys are actually a bunch of real ones. I ain't gonna lie.
Stop me, please do so, okay? But I do need you to understand your rights before we ask you about anything that happened in that home today, okay? All right. You have the right to remain silent. Do you understand that? I'm sorry?
Yes. Sorry. Yes.
Okay. Anything
Let's get back to Mr. Fruitalicious. Fruit bubble gum. What do they call it? What do they call that fruit? I mean that bubble gum? Shit, it's yellow. Fruit. I spelled fruit wrong. Gum. What's that shit called? Juicy fruit. Let's get back to Mr. Juicy Fruit, man. Remember Juicy Fruit? That shit used to go so fucking hard. He probably had a little too much Juicy Fruit as a kid. This is what I used to fuck with. You only could chew them for about 20 minutes, though, and it's over with. Yeah. That's that shit. All right, let's get back to it, though. Let's get back to Mr. Juicy Fruit.
say may be used against you in court. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Would you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give in this case shall be the truth, the whole truth, and
Fruity
the
juice.
Absolutely. Okay. All right. So I need you to kind of...
That's my boy Fruity Juice right there.
About how you all met. I know you met on Match.com, and about 5 months of, what would it be, telephone, text, and...
We,
What's up, Jametta?
Every other weekend.
They hit it off, moved in together, then went looking for a house to buy in Florida.
We had an offer on a short sale and waited and waited and waited, and it fell through. And then we closed on the house on Copeland in April of 2015.
So you guys own the house free and clear. Is your name only on it, or was it both of yours?
When we bought the house, we weren't married, and so we put it in a trust. And
in this economy, do you think it's smart to buy a house, guys? Yo, what's up, Leanne? How you doing, Leanne? My auntie is named Leanne. Shout you out if that's my auntie in the damn chat. What do you guys think? Do you think we should still be buying homes? Or should we just say fuck it and rent? I don't know, man. Shit. It's dangerous out here nowadays, I feel like. Them property. Man, you know, I came to the US and there's this lady who I was living with, and she had her whole property paid off free and clear. She had like 3 houses on that bitch. But it was like a family house. It was in Berkeley. I was staying with her for a minute. Them property taxes were like you can lose everything over some property taxes, bro. That shit is crazy. But anyways, I guess that's grown-up problems right there. Am I a grown-up yet? I don't know. I don't want to be. I don't want to be because that shit don't sound fun.
We just completed the trust paperwork.
He put the house in his and his mother's names while leaving his wife out of it for, quote, planning and financial reasons. He asserts the decision was mutual, but whether Shanti actually knew about this or not is unclear.
And you've been, so once you moved to Florida, you've been living together the whole time, just home to home, just first with the folks, then Briarcliff, and then this residence. But you've been together the whole time. Have you ever broken up?
We had a couple fights, I think when we were living at Briarcliff.
Okay.
We spent a few nights apart.
He says that he just spent a few nights with his mom, then drifts off into a statement about how Shanti was dedicated to work. The detective will now cut him off and steer the line of questioning back to the argument.
But she's
So when you guys would argue when you would go to your mom's, it was just because she was busy all the time, or what would the beef be?
Work had a lot of stress involved, and she would sometimes. We always agreed, later that she was just overworked and tired, and
So she'd get a little snippy or short or yell, scream, what?
just irritable.
Irritable.
Small irritability, and sometimes it just that's not really, I don't really do that. It's not really, I'm just stand there. So I just. I would just say, well, we take a break, or just let it, a little cool down period, and every time we did it, we came back. I think we only did it twice, but...
First and motherfucking most, I would be like, excuse me, bitch, why are you asking me about my wife's our personal relationship? You know what I'm saying? Like, I would be so snippy with her. Like, I would be, man, use some of that sass to fight back, brother. That's the problem. Shit, I don't know why my hand itchy. That's the problem. You know how guilty you sound when your wife. Listen, let's bring this back together. Let's put this all together, right? Let's put this puzzle together. I came home to my apartment. Hey, babe, I'm home. She's dead as fuck in the fucking bathtub, right? The police come. They say we need to talk to you at the station. Obviously. They're going to start the questions by, oh, so you guys argue a lot? Oh, does she get kind of snippy? Do you guys kind of like beat each other every once in a while? Like, what go? I would be so turned off by that, right? He's just over here taking it. The fact that he's not fighting back to any of these questions at all, and he's just answering, guilty. Guilty as fuck. Yo, the Red Giraffe, welcome back. I appreciate you for the 10. AG #adulting. I appreciate you, ma'am. Shout out Miss Red Giraffe. I like the new profile picture, ma'am. Welcome in. Welcome in. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shout you out, man. Everybody shout out the Red Giraffe. The redhead giraffe.
And has that happened since you moved where you are now? Because now we've got the added stress of the renovation.
No, we love it. We love the...
This is Keith Ory, the producer of the house-flipping show that David wanted to be on.
When you would be interacting with the Torontos related to your work on the house and also the show, who was your primary point of contact?
Of course.
Dave was. He would communicate her desires. I would see her, but it was more like Dave's full-time job, almost, I guess I would say.
Did you ever know during your time that you knew Dave to have any other job?
I was aware that he had explained to me that he had worked for a chemical company up north somewhere.
I actually never knew what Dave did for a living. When my husband had asked
Listen,
him,
one thing I'll say is you chase your dreams. I'm the number one person who will say that. But if your shit is not paying the fucking bills, chase your dreams while you got a job. You know, he seemed like one of those motherfuckers who just sit around the house. It's almost like the same thing with YouTube. There's the people who go to work and come home and do their YouTube journey, career, dream. And then there's some people who don't go to work, barely focus on their YouTube career, and just do nothing. That's what he kind of sounds like. He kind of sounds like the guy who has a plan but never will do anything about it. Bro, then at work, a 50-year-old man, stay-at-home dad? No, he's a stay-at-home husband, not even a stay-at-home dad. That's insane.
he said he was into sales, but I don't really know what that means.
David never worked in sales or at a chemical company. You're now about to see Keith explain that he insisted on having a formal sit-down with Shanti to make sure that she was fully on board.
It was difficult to get them both together, but I explained ultimately that we couldn't go forward if I wasn't able to sit down.
Okay, they do have kids. Cooper Tronis' son. Son recalls learning about mom's. Okay, they do have kids.
Them both.
Ultimately, you're able to get this sit down scheduled. Tell the jury about that meeting.
I arrived at the house to meet Dave and Shanti, and she was, by my estimation, unhappy to be there, and it was in a sort of a tense state. It was obvious that she was unhappy with something, and she was only there as long as she absolutely had to be, and then left.
This all occurred 6 days before Shanti was murdered.
We love what we're doing to the house. We love the vision that we had for the house. It's totally, I mean... Oh, she wanted divorce, but she wanted so bad. It made me happy. It made her happy. It was a thing that we did together. She wanted to quit her job. When we got the house done, or just kind of, slowly phase out of it. She thought, a couple of times that she would really need to take a break, and definitely slow down, and definitely not add a whole lot more work. She could do more if she wanted to. I'm sorry, I can't talk about it. Oh my God! Oh my God! Oh Lord!
And that's very normal.
What I always say, if I don't give a fuck and I'm lying, just lie in a different way. I can't fake cry. Maybe some people are good at it. If you're not good at fake crying, just don't attempt it. Don't try it. What the fuck is this, bro? I mean, seriously. Oh my God.
That's very normal.
What the? And what's funny is he dropped the tissue on the floor a little bit earlier. Like he was so distraught. Let me back it up actually. He was so distraught. He had like the tissue in his hand, but the pain made him drop it to the floor. It's so sad. Hold on.
Phase out of it. She thought, a couple of times that she would really need to take a break, and definitely slow down, and definitely not add a whole lot more work. She could do more if she wanted to. I'm sorry, I can't talk about it.
And that's very normal. That's very normal.
I think it was earlier on. He already dropped the tissue. Never mind. Watch how he comforts himself though. This shit's so funny.
And that's very normal. That's very normal. Because you're not going to process this for a really long time. So,
and see, the cry is over. I wish we had a more clear version to this video. The cry is over. He cries in intervals of 5 seconds, bro. That's the best he can do. You know why? It's because he can feel the cringe. When you're doing cringy shit in front of people, you can kind of feel their spiritual pressure on you because you're just making a dumbass out of yourself. He can feel that.
It feels like a really bad day.
Now notice how quickly he manages to pull himself out of the depths of despair and into
Exactly.
casually talking about his house flipping show.
Keith also does, our lives are busy. I'm so sorry. I know you're asking simple questions, but Keith does a TV show, a home improvement.
Keith, the guy you mentioned, Ori? Okay.
It's called Zombie House Flipping.
Keith asked them to be on the show,
Which meant that we would get a lot of what they call trade-outs and promotional sponsorship to do.
Any financial incentive to do that?
Big. That's what they call trade-out. I'm sorry, that's what they call trade-outs. So they're sponsors. That's one of the things I was working on yesterday, was putting together a list of the sponsorships, the windows, doors, cabinets, and so maybe instead of getting granite, you get quartz, or maybe instead of getting, middle range cabinets, you get high-end stuff.
One thing you can tell about a man real quick, though, out of everything, you can tell what he cares about just by the way he talks about it. You notice how everything was kind of la-di-da. Oh, I'm so sad, and oh, this and that. But the second we talked about flipping the house, oh, is there a big incentive for it? Is there a big money incentive for it? Oh, big. And if we switch out the granite, we could do that. And if we get a good contractor, we could do this. And then if we get a sponsor, then we can actually do that and make the house a 2-story. And then after that, we could sell it for a profit of a margin of maybe $500,000. You see how his mind started working like that? If you ever talk to somebody, man or woman, honestly, But if you ever start talking to somebody and they really get into that shit and you just don't really have to ask them no more questions, 9 times out of 10, guess what? They're really into that topic. He doesn't care about anything but his fucking house show. Not a goddamn thing. He don't care about them kids, that bitch, that fucking car. Nope. House show. That's how he feels. You know? It's crazy. It's a crazy world we live in.
And we're also working on kind of...
And I'm saying that bitch, like, in his term, like, in his head, that's how he would be thinking it, you know, to clarify.
Just an amazing open concept stairway in the middle of the house that was going to go all the way up to the pond.
And so they'd come in and start filming?
Mm-hmm.
Would they film you all or just the work?
No. Yeah, it's just the house. They're the stars.
Pay no attention to David's no. He fully understood that he would be featured prominently on the show as the main builder construction guy. The so-called stars he's talking about are the hosts. The detective will now establish a timeline.
So when she comes home Sunday, it's you, Jackson, and Shanti, and you just stay at home and have is it a pool get together?
We only have them every other Sunday.
The more I'm listening to this guy, the only thing that made him break this much, in my opinion, was probably her saying, "Sweetie, I'm not going to do this with you. I'm not doing this. Like, I refuse." And that probably messed up the whole show, the whole structure of the show. It probably would have disqualified the whole family to be on the show. So in his head, it's like, wow, this whole thing I ever worked for, the only thing I ever wanted, you're not even going to do with me. So if I can't have this, you can't have life. That's what it kind of seems like. Something about, because who cares about her, right? I'll just do the show myself. I'm pretty sure the requirement had to probably be like husband, wife, family, you know?
It's our family day, and we do like to have an early meal, watch a movie.
So, do you recall Sunday night about what time everybody goes to sleep since you're all
We go to
the same?
bed early on school nights, so 8:30 we're winding down, 9 o'clock lights are low.
Shanti's son gets picked up the next day at around 5 p.m.
5 p.m.-ish, okay. All right, and then do you guys go anywhere, do anything, or you stay at home?
I think we made dinner together that night. And,
Even the way he puts his hands on his chin, like, don't get me wrong, I do that. Everybody does that. It's just the way in which he does it. Like, yeah, I don't know. I just been kind of, can y'all see me? Hold on. It's just the way he, yeah, you know, I just was thinking like, but the way he does this, like I don't know, a very feminine dude. I think he was probably dealing with a lot in that relationship. I feel like that relationship was bound to be fucked. Just saying. You know, Godspeed to them, though.
So that would have been Monday night. Did you watch TV?
I did.
Any idea what?
American Idol.
Of course it's American Idol.
You wake up Tuesday morning.
Of course
and
it's
you're
American
in the garage
Idol.
on the couch?
Mm-hmm.
What's up,
Usually
Skull
wait for
Art?
her to come down. She came down after 7 o'clock, probably almost 7:30.
Shanti went back upstairs and David started doing chores around the house. He's now about to mention the last time he supposedly saw Shanti alive, and then break into another fake hysteric. Yet this time, he will get no reassuring feedback from the detective, and the charade will rapidly dissipate.
Just normal routine. And she came down again. That's not what I saw.
He was even preparing himself for his... he was preparing himself for the whole breakdown. You see how he was like getting his legs together, putting his hands out so he could use his whole body. When people break down, they just break down. That's why it's so random and so grabbing, because they're not doing normal shit. They just start falling out onto the floor. They might slap themselves. Like shit gets real. Him, on the other hand, he's preparing himself to fall out and throw his hands around the place. You could tell.
Pate.
Look at him. Look at him. Let me get ready. Let me clear my legs. Let me get in front of you. And now I'm going to cry.
She came down again, and what happened?
Came down, and I've thought about it. I tried to think exactly what time
Oh, that
it
was
but
quick.
I don't know exactly. I would say probably 9:15. And the reason I know that is
She said she was going to the dentist, and he said he was going for a walk. He now attempts another fake cry, but gets ignored again.
And,
Did you take the dogs for a walk?
I went for a walk.
By yourself?
By myself.
Where'd you go?
I went around Lake Lucerne and went out to Orange.
He comes back home and feeds the dogs.
That's all that I can remember until I went upstairs to see when we were going to pick up Jackson.
Okay, and what happens when you enter the home? Is anything unusual?
Yo, what's up, Mary?
The garage apartment.
So, I could hear the water is running, but it's not running. It's not like the sound of a shower running. It's just, it's trickling out of the spout.
Okay, and so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just in case you didn't catch the passive-aggressive nature of that response, here it is again without subtitles.
And so you walk toward the water that you're hearing?
Yeah, walking to the bathroom.
Okay.
Just look at David's face. Poor David really doesn't want to be getting grilled like this anymore. Keep in mind it's almost 11 p.m. He likely didn't get a whole lot of sleep the night before, and he's been acting his ass off all throughout the day. He'll at this point be exhausted and want nothing more than to get out of that police station. But he doesn't want to challenge the detective directly and risk losing her approval. Hence he throws out a weak little display of passive aggression to see if she'll pick up on the hint, but it of course gets ignored. She will simply continue pressing with an unsympathetic tone which will cause David to revert back to appeasement. He will then begin recounting the horrific circumstances under which he supposedly found Shanti. And as this unfolds, you will see a glaring disparity in David's
Tony
emotional
K?
presentation.
The door's open, and what happens? What do you see?
I see her laying with her head in the right-hand corner, and it's just extremely awful, and it doesn't look natural. Obviously, she fell or something happened.
But you did shut off the water.
I did shut off the water and it drained.
He said encore. I don't know why he keeps doing it. Like, there's no tears. You know how dumb you have to probably feel for attempting to cry about 7 times and not getting an ounce of tears out? Not a speck of tears. Just don't do it. You can be saddened by something, deeply disturbed by something without fake crying. You really could do it. You know? He should have thought this shit through, bruh. Like, who's a good crier? Who's somebody who knows how to bullshit? Like Alex Murdaugh. You know, he has his faults. He has his hiccups. But Alex Murdaugh could get his face wet. At least, if you're gonna go the crying route, at least try and sell it. Get some boogers going. Alex Murdaugh was doing all that shit. He was trying all that shit. So, you know, all I'm saying is play to your strengths, you dumbass. You're supposed to be the TV star. That's why your career didn't ever go nowhere.
Me, I could hear it draining when I pulled her out. I could hear. So I guess this is all weird, right? Because she's in there, the water's on, and it's draining. It doesn't make any. It just doesn't make any sense.
And it's not on all the way. It's on how
like lukewarm, so just past half.
And she's face down. So the first thing you do is what, if you recall?
I reached out and grabbed her. I reached out and touched her right arm. The water is rose colored, so there's blood in the water itself. Mm-hmm. I can see a spot of blood.
And you pull her by her arms?
So I grabbed someplace on her arm. I tried to get kind of under it a little bit.
You said she seemed stiff?
Yeah. Hard to move.
I mean, she was dead for a while already. Rigor mortis already set in. I feel like this story isn't working out. How long does it take for rigor mortis to set in? Juicy Fruit. That's my boy Juicy Fruit right there. That's gonna be his nickname in jail because that shit finna be juicy. No, let me stop. How long does rigor mortis, I don't know how to spell it, take to set in? Oh, God, don't show us oh, my. Oh, boy. I hope that doesn't fuck the stream. Ah, that was it was quick, though. Fuck. What? Hold on, let me see if there was anything guideline inappropriate that just flashed the screen. Fuck. Not really. It's we're ooh. Anyways, damn, I gotta start searching shit on the right corner more often. Anyways, rigor mortis is stiffening of the sets in within 2 to 4 hours. So that's a long ass time. So if your story doesn't balance with 2 hours at least, then your story's wrong. Unless she's just a freak of nature. No, you missed it. Don't worry. You didn't want to see that. It's just a whole bunch of it was a whole bunch of rigor mortis is what it was. But
there's something so
I'm probably gonna have to delete this stream when we're done. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not taking no chances. Oh well. Or maybe I could probably cut that little segment out when I'm done.
Incredibly unnerving in the sound of the casual crunching of his snack as he recounts in precise detail the limp and lifeless body of his wife, so we'll spare you the rest of it.
I had to pull her and turn her a couple of times. Then she felt cold. You asked how she felt. She felt cold.
She felt cold.
I grabbed the,
You grabbed the what?
We had, when we did the bedding, we took the mattress cover off to wash it.
The detective asks David to draw a map for the purpose of illustrating the timeline of his movements. She will now shift the line of questioning and begin to gradually intensify the pressure.
When was the last time the two of you argued?
See, I'm already defensive. What the fuck does that have to do with anything, ma'am? You know what? Let me get my lawyer. You know what? No. That's bullshit. You think I killed my wife? That's what you like. We would have got through this line of questioning a lot quicker with me. They would have came out like, oh yeah, we could rule him out. Yeah, he got a little irritated. Yeah. He wants to talk to his lawyer. If you're guilty, I don't know why guilty people always want to have a conversation with you. But that's something to look for. If a motherfucker really wants to sit down and explain why they're not guilty, they probably are.
Very briefly on Saturday, right before we left.
The argument was over the renovation. David likely admitted to this because Shanti's son was there for it.
The upstairs floor was very wavy, and the point of contention probably was, do we tear all of that out and put in new structure and trusses so we have a perfectly flat floor and then a perfectly flat ceiling?
You see how interested he gets into this topic, right? That goes to show again what this man cares about. The more you talk about it, the more intricate you get about it. You add all these extra details. You notice how he doesn't add extra details for anything else except for his house projects. It's the only thing he cared about. That family that he had was a business expense. It wasn't a loving family. That was a fucking business expense that he needed to create this movie.
We're both on the same page, and we're both just in agreement and upset reasonably and justifiably upset that it's taking longer. Shanti and I aren't fighting about it. Mm-hmm. We're both upset about the same thing.
Does she feel as though you don't listen to her?
No, I don't think so. She knows I listen.
Has any fight ever turned physical between the two of you?
No.
Okay. Has she ever hurt you, hit you, struck you, threw anything at you?
No.
No. Have you ever harmed her physically?
No.
David continues to pretend that he doesn't notice the accusatory nature of the questioning, so the detective will now intensify the pressure to a significant degree.
She seems to shed.
Her injuries to me, David, seem really significant.
Type shit.
More significant.
I mean, what are we even doing, right? The DNA, swab that pussy. That's all you gotta do. We have a body and we have a bitch ass motherfucker who we think did it. Swab time. DNA is a crazy thing. Oh wait, no, but they live together. No shit. So of course his DNA is gonna be all over her. Never mind. I take all that back. Never mind.
Than from a soft tissue fall. More significant than from me tripping and falling and hitting my head and being knocked unconscious.
She elaborates on the inconsistencies while David just sits there and nods.
The issue I'm having with it is I absolutely think that she was deceased before you left to go to the park.
She repeats what she said a few more times, while David just keeps doing what he's doing.
Okay, so I think that you've told us a significant amount of information. You've been very cooperative, but I also think that you've left some stuff out. Wow. And I think you've left some
Did he say wow? I think he's trying to let her play all her cards. He's trying not to say anything. So that's why he's letting her say all this accusatory shit. He's just trying to let her get it out so he can just do one big, that's not me. You said sound keeps cutting out. For real, for real? Like right now, can you hear me? Testing, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Testing, testing. I love you. Pikachu. Inside of the stew, on top of you. Did it cut out that entire time, or are we good? Are we good or are we not? Are we good or are we not? See or no? See Poppy or no Poppy? What the fuck? Oh, you said it's good? Let me just check it myself. Fuck. You said it sounds good. Sounds fine. If random people, like 1% of the entire crowd is experiencing this, just leave the stream and come back. What the fuck? Oh, you said it's good? Let me just check it myself. Fuck. No, it's fine. Yeah, if it's cutting out for you, you probably just have to reload your stream. It does that after like an hour or two. Sometimes, you know, it's YouTube shit.
Stuff out that is maybe something got out of hand, maybe you didn't mean for it to happen, maybe you got upset, maybe, but there's something that happened between the two of you before you left that house. Because she was deceased, or on her way to being deceased, before you left that house. Now, if there's an explanation, I want to hear it.
I told you everything.
Yeah, but you've left out something, David, because this woman has significant injuries.
She just went to the bathroom and started smacking her face against the fucking side. Can people not do that in peace anymore? The husbands have to get accused for it? Come on now. She clearly assaulted herself and then took a shower afterwards. Like, why does he have to be blamed for this?
Okay, this is not from a fall.
What's up, Raven?
Did you harm Shanti in any way?
Absolutely not.
Did you choke her?
Absolutely not.
Did you strangle her?
Without question, no.
Did you beat her?
No.
Did you hit her with anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Do you have injuries?
I do not. I do have some scratches from the bromeliads and from the bougainvillea.
Okay.
I do trim them myself.
Aside from the scratches from his plants, David had no injuries that could indicate a struggle. But this might explain why.
You noticed a single earring on the nightstand?
A single what?
A single diamond earring on the nightstand.
Yes.
And what was the significance of that?
Looks like she removed it before bed and didn't get a chance to remove the other one.
Because you believe that's when the attack occurred.
On the edge of the bed, where the blood was found on the side rail, yes. And I think when she turned to take that earring out, she didn't see it coming.
Would you mind
Damn,
just
how did
for-
they even figure that shit out? And she's probably right. I wouldn't have figured that out. She Detective 3000 right there. That makes, yeah. It's a that you turn your head. Bam. Yeah, he's a monster. He you know, he probably gets loud too. You know that really deep down voice that he does, and it's like, oh my God, I'm so scared for my girl. That's not how he is in real life. He's probably a fucking monster, screaming down the house and all types of shit. That soft voice is probably a polar opposite to what he really is.
Me to be able to say David is a perfect gentleman and is in the clear and did not harm his wife. Would you mind taking a polygraph and proving that to us?
Absolutely.
Okay.
What's up, Sarcasm? How you doing?
Yeah. Okay. All right.
The detective asks David if he wants another water, to which he says, sure. So she brings him a water and tells him they'll be right back with a polygraph machine. But instead of coming right back, they leave him in there for just over 2 hours, during which time they decide not to proceed with the polygraph, but simply ramp up the confrontation.
So they just lied to him. Remember, folks, the police lie. They lie their asses off. That's crazy. I would leave. I would go straight down to my favorite restaurant and get me a plate. I would go get me some ice cream, probably lick the ice cream, have a good time there. I'd probably go to Top Golf, maybe swing a few swings. Then after that, I would end the night off. I'll go to a bar and get absolutely shit-faced. Maybe try to pick somebody up. Anybody. I don't care. Fuck it. And then I'll, you know, try to get a lawyer. The fact that he's staying here, not enjoying his final days of freedom, is baffling to me. Bro, you are fucked. Remember what P. Diddy did when the feds were on him? He went to the fucking beach and he rode a bicycle. I looked at that and I was like, smart man. Real shit. I looked at that shit. I was in the bed somewhere probably, and I looked at that shit and I said, smart man. Because P. Diddy knew that he was fucked. He should have did what P. Diddy did, but instead he stayed in this fucking interrogation room and got his ass chewed. You could have had a few more days of freedom, bruh.
Hi.
You doing okay?
Yeah, it's just.
Did you sleep a little?
I did.
Yeah. I know you've got to be exhausted, or at least mentally. Yeah.
I just want to point out some things to you that I think are unusual. There's
I wouldn't be doing
so
none of
many
this shit.
I really don't know where to begin, to be perfectly honest with you. I think that I find that the living arrangement I find to be completely unusual for you to be primarily living downstairs.
I'm not primarily living downstairs.
Well, sleeping.
What I said is that I sleep down there, but I don't go down there until we're done with dinner, we're done watching TV, or doing what we've done for the evening.
Okay, just hear me out.
Okay.
So you don't go upstairs.
What's up, soul child? Welcome in, welcome in. And see, there we go again. Sleeping arrangement. He sleeps downstairs, she sleeps upstairs. You know why? You know what? I'm not even going to get into that. But it ties into that juicy fruit comment that I made at the beginning. That's probably why. Shit, this is a business expense. Nothing more, nothing less.
During the day while she's working, you leave her alone. And then
Not entirely. I do go up there.
Okay.
But I don't work up there while she's on the phone because it's distracting. It's her office. I think that I've explained extremely well. She didn't sleep. She did, but you said.
He continues defending the fact that he was exiled to the garage.
I think it's an adjustment and a transition that she didn't feel like she could make right now because she couldn't afford the time that it would take.
But she's sleeping in the only part of the residence that's semi-comfortable. You're sleeping in the garage with the dogs.
how do you explain this woman's head being swollen, her eyes being black?
Damn. And would never, ever hurt her.
So when you pulled her out of the tub, you agreed with me that the water came out of the tub. There's not a spot of water on the floor, David. The carpet isn't wet. The carpet isn't wet from where...
I know he probably shitted himself when they said that. He was like, well, you motherfuckers. Why are you so thorough? You know, it's crazy, bro. Out here sleeping with the dogs. The dogs probably didn't even cuddle him. The dogs probably went to the opposite side of the fucking garage. You know what I'm saying? Man, listen. You didn't think, man, you shouldn't have killed her, first of all. I think he killed her, mad as fuck, realized it, and the first thing he could think of is she fell and drowned in the bathtub or something. That's not going to work when you pop blood vessels and strangle people and choke them out. It's not going to work, bruh. There's things called forensics and detectives.
She was pulled out of the bathtub.
You say he probably gave the dog fleas. That's fucking hilarious, bro.
Sopping wet all the way around to the front of the couch. The carpet's not wet. There's no blood on the carpet.
Notice how little David moves compared to the detective. It doesn't correlate with anything in particular. It's just sort of interesting to watch.
My guess is she wasn't treating you very well.
He's not moving because he thinks if he doesn't move, they might lose track of him. And he could just walk out the door. I mean, he can walk out the door. It's a fact. He's thinking it'll all go away if he just stays still. Maybe he'll just go invisible, you know?
There's only so much anyone can take before they snap.
Appreciate the very kind things that you've said.
I'm missing what you're saying because of your suit that you're moving, but I'm kind of missing it. It's really loud, but I missed what you said because you're talking so loud.
I'm sorry, it's Paulina. I appreciate the things that you've said and the genuine
concern,
consideration, and thoughtfulness behind it.
David,
I wouldn't be saying I appreciate shit. They're calling me a murderer. I appreciate your thoughtfulness. Once again, he's the guy who did it. Nobody in the right mind. It's a reflex reaction. Why would I say I appreciate your consideration and all the things you had to say? It kind of sounds like you failed for a movie audition or something. I appreciate your consideration and all the kind words. And what? That's not what you say when people are accusing you of being a murderer.
Killed this woman.
I cooperated, so...
Hold on, let me back it up.
Consideration and thoughtfulness behind it.
David, you killed this woman.
I cooperated so I could give you all the information and all.
You cooperated because you thought that your language would overwhelm us, and you thought you could pull the wool over our eyes.
I didn't think there was any effort to do that.
All these tangents, all this flowery, fancy language,
answers to questions
all the
that you
details,
asked, to questions that you asked.
You know, you fake cried for about 7 or 8 hours today. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one. Not one. Not on scene with the officers. Not in this room. You have fake cried over.
He honestly should just start crying again. I agree. Stacy, I agree. He honestly should just start crying again. This would be the perfect time. Give it your all. I mean, there's always a little bit of something in your nostrils, right? Start blowing out your nostrils and just give them a good loogie, too, through your nose. And just cry as hard as you can. And see if they'll buy it that time. I'm pretty sure they will.
This woman's stabbed since we made contact with you for hours.
What's up, Modesto?
And every
we
single
live.
time you fake cried, we wrote it down. Not one tear came out of your eyes. Not one. Nope. Okay. We've been extremely patient with you for a very long time. I'm losing my patience at this point because there is not a lick of remorse for what you did to this woman. Not even a little bit. You're staring at a woman you're telling us you're in love with, and you've done nothing the whole time. But close your eyes, huddle up, and protect your own ass. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit and solve this case. And I'm glad you think that's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny.
The investigators would exit the room shortly after this moment, at 4:56 a.m. David would then sit there for a little over 2 hours before finally asking to go home. But before being driven back by one of the officers, they asked him if they could take his photograph. He cheerfully obliged. Judging by his expression, he may have thought he had just gotten away with murder, but a grand...
You dumb fuck. Yo, that's a dangerous man right there. Even him smiling at those two detectives, they better have an officer on the outside because who knows? Bro might snap while they're questioning him. What the fuck did you say, bitch? Just to go ahead and start attacking everybody. This is the type of guy who snaps and starts attacking people. He hits you with that nice little calm, just relaxed. And I was just like fixing the decor and I was just, and then all of a sudden he turns into a fucking monster. That's the type of shit this guy is on. The scariest thing for me is when he smiled at the detective. If you pay attention, he looks at her and just smiles at her. I didn't realize it the first time. But he just starts smiling while she's accusing him. I'm like, motherfucker, what are you smiling at?
A little bit. You're staring at a woman you're telling us you're in love with, and you've done nothing the whole
Wait
time.
for the smile.
But close your eyes, huddle up, and protect your own ass. So we're just going to prove you're full of shit and solve this case.
Look at him, look at him, look at him.
That's funny. I'm glad you think that's funny.
Just stroking his neck and shit.
The investigators would exit the room shortly after this moment, at 4:56 a.m. David would then sit there for a little over 2 hours before finally asking to go home. But before being driven back by...
And you're going to sit there for 2... Man, listen, I already told you what my routine would have been. Hit the restaurant, go to Top Golf, go to the bar, get absolutely smashed. Have a really good last day. Get as much ganja. I'm going to go to the cartels and get the best ganja I could find. Whoever has it. Give me the best shit on the planet. I'm going to blow my life savings on it. And then I'm going to go to jail for the rest of my life. Because you fucked up. This guy's over here trying to be cooperative in the investigation. You dumbass. You already threw your life away. Might as well have a good time on your last day. Your last couple days.
By one of the officers, they asked him if they could take his photograph. He cheerfully obliged. Judging by his expression, he may have thought he had just gotten away with murder, but a grand jury indicted him 4 months later, and he was arrested at his mother's house. When he was told he was facing...
Oh, well, he had 4 months. He had 4 months on the free ski. I thought they were going to get him really soon. 4 months is insane. 4 months is a long time. 4 months is long, but you know what? That 4 months was not peaceful. He probably had nightmares every night of the feds coming after him. You know what I'm saying? It was not a peaceful 4 months. I thought they were going to pick him up like the next day or the next week. 4 months later. Shit. Maybe the interrogation did buy him some time. I don't know.
He indicted him 4 months later, and he was arrested at his mother's house. When he was told he was facing life imprisonment and that the evidence against him was overwhelming, he started acting crazy and went for the insanity defense. He was then sent to a maximum security psych unit, where he spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial.
He spent 5 years in probably worse conditions than prison. Just for them to say, no, you can't do it. I don't know why everybody thinks that insanity shit works. It works all right, but not in the way that you would want it to. You're going to be in purgatory. They're going to be stabbing you up with a whole bunch. You're going to be in there with real loonies. People who be really eating their own shit and pissing in they fucking wall in their cells and shit. You're going to really be in there with the crazies. Over here trying to act crazy. Okay. You think they give a fuck? Throw them in there with the loonies. Who cares? That's, man, anyways.
Security psych unit, where he spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial. This is what he looked like on the day he...
God damn, bro. Hold on. Wow. The only thing I recognize are the color eyes. He even got like a twitch going on the right eye. fuck. Hold on. Damn. Woo! That prison shit really, that jail will do something to you. Jail will do something to you. The only way I could recognize him is, I guess, the eyes. But if I wasn't paying attention, I wouldn't have even knew it was him.
Was overwhelming.
No.
He started acting crazy and went for the insanity defense. He was then sent to a maximum security psych unit, where he spent 5 years before a judge ruled him competent to stand trial. This is what he looked like on the day he was transferred back to jail. His trial began on October 12th and lasted 6 days. He maintained his plea of not guilty, with his official defense being that he was out of the house walking the...
Bro looks like a psychopath, bro. The man bun the man bun completes the psycho vibes. Bro looks like man, listen. Shit. We need a Netflix documentary on this motherfucker right here.
The dogs, while an unknown intruder broke in and murdered Shanti.
You heard about the sleeping arrangement. You heard how the defendant was sleeping in the garage.
What's up, Blaney?
While Shanti was staying in the essential, 1-bedroom apartment, separate and apart from him. And this
bro is disturbed. I think them 5 years in that psychiatric shit really disturbed your boy. Listen, he's seen some shit. Just leave him be. That man has seen some shit out here, all right?
Going on, for over a year. This was an intentional killing. A random stranger that comes into a house isn't going to, take the time that it takes to strangle a person, to move them to a tub. Not take anything? Doesn't make any sense. Leave no sign behind, no fingerprints, no DNA? That doesn't make any sense. You have the severe beating of Shanti. You have the injuries to both sides of her face. You have the fractured skull, the swollen shut eye, the damaged eye on the other side. You saw the, intense bruising and bleeding in both sides of her mouth. This was a beating. So at some point in that beating, the defendant, and you can infer this from the facts, intended to cause the death. And he did it with a premeditated design. We ask that you convict him of first-degree murder.
That was a quick intro.
Thank you.
The defense mainly tries to evoke empathy for the defendant, but it ends up just roasting the fake crazy out of him.
Shanti's the only source.
Wait, it just ends up what?
For the defendant, but it ends up just roasting the fake crazy out of him.
Shanti.
They're roasting they're roasting him for being a crazy person? I don't get it.
He's the only source of the income. She's the breadwinner. He does nothing other than take care of the pool and the dogs.
Oh my God, they're demeaning the shit out of bro. Look at his face. This shit is like a sitcom. He's just taking it. Damn, you didn't have to do him like that. Man, imagine being a worthless piece of shit. I mean, shit, you could go get a job at Taco Bell and work on your screenplay. How many hours is that? Like 5-6 hours, my boy? You pay the light bill or something. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like, buy the groceries. I'd appreciate somebody in my life to buy the groceries for me. Oh my God, you spent $80 to buy the grocery, babe? I love you. Nah, he didn't do shit. That's crazy. Pay a bill.
Thank you.
The defense mainly tries to evoke empathy for the defendant, but it ends up just roasting the fake crazy out of him.
Shanti's the only source of the income. She's the breadwinner. He does nothing other than take care of the pool and the dogs.
Type shit. He's just saying.
It's about circumstantial evidence, pure supposition, all steered by Teresa Sprague, who prejudged this case based upon a phone call received from her from an officer at the scene.
Literally the face I would give if they started talking shit about if I was the investigator and Look at her face. That shit's laughable. I know, sweetie.
All steered by Teresa Sprague, who prejudged this case based upon a phone call received from her from an officer at the scene about these crocodile tears. This is just a hunch, ladies and gentlemen.
You said I'll get you $80 worth of food AG on my food card. Man, fuck yeah. See, Leanne, we're already getting places, Leanne. Shit. We already getting places.
A hunch. If you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras, sort of thing. Because that's the point. You don't get to fit a square peg in a round hole because it's convenient. And that's what happened here. With the rush to judgment, with the confirmational bias, those two detectives...
You can't stick a square peg in a round hole because it's geometrically impossible. What the fuck? It's because squares don't go into circles? Because the circles can't go into squares? Maybe a circle could go into a square. Technically, a square could go into a circle. I mean, if it's big enough. You just gotta make the circle big enough, put the square inside. So, technically it could.
Went into a room with David Tronis and worked him over. He sat there for 16 hours, bared his soul to them, literally and figuratively, told them what he knew, told them what he saw. The government's the one spinning here. The government's the one taking the insignificant and stacking them into a pyramid. And I'm confident that after carefully deliberating, that you'll come back and return the only just verdict in this case, and that's a verdict of not guilty.
Well, damn.
Thank you.
Verdict reads, we, the jury, find the defendant guilty of first-degree murder as charged in the indictment. So it says we all, dated at Orange County, Florida, on the 18th day of October, 2023, signed by the foreperson.
Hey, well, look on the bright side. He could still do TV, possibly. He could do something like, prison baddies or something. He could probably get like a documentary done or some shit. Social media is running rampant in the prisons lately. You really want to be famous, bro? If fame is all you're worried about, start doing TikTok from prison. Motherfuckers be doing that shit. What's a few days in the hole for making a viral TikTok? I could see it already. You could still be famous, brother. This was only the start to your fame. This was just the beginning.
In the midst of this tragedy, Shanti's impact as a mother was shown through her son, Jackson. His victim impact statement was both heartrending and dignified.
My family and I have been waiting for about 5 years for justice. I miss her so much. I would have never thought the day before was the last time I would see my mother alive. I miss the times where we would go to Universal, or just the simple times, like walking the dogs or going to the park.
I would have told him to die slowly, but that's just me. Yo, Skull Art, thank you for the $5. I appreciate you. Everybody shout out Skull Art with the love, okay? Man, listen, when I get my new rig, my new PC set up, we're definitely going to have some damn audio notifications for these super chats, bro. I'm about tired of it. We need something professional. We got 50-something thousand damn subscribers, you feel me? So I think it's about time we do something about it. But I appreciate you, Skull Art. Shout out Skull Art.
She was the best mom I could ever ask for. That's it.
And die slowly. You should have told him that. That's the best part.
No, Your Honor.
Thank you, Jackson. Mr. Tronis, anything you wish to say prior to sentencing?
Oh, is he going to say something? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. Shut the fuck up.
I think you just said no. Is that right?
Yeah,
then
shut the fuck up.
in this case, the court will adjudicate you guilty. Will sentence you to life imprisonment. Up to you, sir. And the court will be in recess.
This is his latest mugshot. He is currently being housed at the Graceville Correctional Facility in maximum security.
Yo, he aged to a 70-year-old in like 2 years. That's crazy. Your boy turned 70. Your boy was 50 going on 70. That shit's wild. What the fuck is going on? Whoo! That prison did some work on him. They put some work on him. I ain't gonna lie to you.
He is expected to remain.
That's wild. That the glow down it was
The drama began
that
shortly
was probably
after the Frederick.
that was probably one of the most shocking transformations I've seen in a while. What's another good trend? Like Paul Ferguson looked the same. Paul Ferguson looked more healthy later on, in my opinion, probably because he was eating better in prison. So Paul Ferguson actually looked better. Darrell Brooks looked the same. He just cut his hair. Alex Murdaugh pretty much looked the same. He just got fat. But this guy just turned into a different fucking person. Literally turned into a different person. Shit. Anyways, that was that. That was that. There was something else I was going to show you guys. That story fucked me up. Now I gotta remember what else I was gonna show you guys. I was gonna show you guys some cool shit. Now I can't remember. I was gonna show you. Oh well, Tiffany Hinyard posted something. Hold on, we got something popping up later on. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna search it on the side just in case something crazy pops up again. Even though it's only Facebook, I'm just not taking notes. Whenever I search things, it's just going to be protocol that I search it over to the side on my second monitor because that internet be throwing some shit up that you're just not prepared for sometimes. All right, here we go. So Tiffany, apparently, I told you Tiffany wasn't here. I mean, she wasn't gone forever, right? So she posted this April 13th type shit, you know what I'm saying? Just something smooth for the people. You know, it's about the people. She said, God will deal with the person who has been evil to you. Vengeance is mine. I will repay, says the Lord. Romans 12:19. So, first and foremost, Tiffany's still out here, you know, on the prowl. And then she posted this. And this is, I think, going to be the final goodbye. I think this is going to be it. This is going to be this is going to be the final hoorah. It says, Thorn Township Supervisor Tiffany A. Hinyard, Easter fresh produce and food box giveaway. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You know, one would say Tiffany created this program. One would think that Tiffany, this is her baby. One would think that she put money into this project. Girl, this was gonna happen anyway. What is wrong with Tiffany, guys? She puts her face on top of everything. What a conceited piece of shit. You know when you put that's why I don't try to put my face on shit and I keep it the AG Tactical logo because people get tired of seeing you. But shit, I should start doing thumbnails without it. I would do thumbnails without my face, but I feel like I started it that way, so I'm trying to keep it consistent. But what do you guys think about thumbnails without a face? Just topic only. I see people do that too. I'm not sure if it would hurt numbers or anything. It might not. It might make the numbers better, to be honest. But I'm scared to change the thumbnail formula. But I think it's about time we actually change the thumbnail formula a little bit. Now I'm just rambling. But anyway, she's going to do a food drive and she's going to show up. I think this is going to be Tiffany's last hoorah right here. Saturday, April 19th, 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. So you best believe that I'm going to be streaming it live. So stay tuned for that. Best fucking believe that I'm going to be there. Why, AG? Does it help anybody? Are we going to uncover anything? No. We're just there to see the fucking train wreck. That's why we're showing up, pretty much. There's nothing productive about this meeting. I'll tell you that from now. So if you're going to show up for something productive, don't even come. Because it won't be. I promise you that. Oh my God. Bet her pics is in her screen lock background. Probably. That's wild. Imagine having your. I have the planets. Hold on, I have a whole bunch of notifications. Let me end it. Let me close my notifications. I have a pretty little planet on my iPhone. You know what I mean? And then for my background screen, it's a badass background screen. I took this myself. This is my old job. Hold on. But we had one of those like French oven tops with like the flame that flies out and shit. I took a picture. It was like 8 a.m. with the skillets and all that. That's my background. I feel like that's a fire rat. That's one of those backgrounds that you could use for like professional, like random shit, like you see it on a calendar or something. I feel like it was that great a picture for sure. But yeah. Long story short, Tiffany definitely has her face as her home screen, 1,000,000%. If she doesn't, I would be disappointed. Honestly, I'd be a little disappointed. Yo, Shella. Shella with the big 10,000. No, I'm playing. With the big $10. Thank you so much, Shella. I appreciate you. Just vibes. No comment, no nothing. Just straight vibes. You know what I'm saying? Throw some golden hearts out for Miss Shella. I appreciate you for the super chat. I appreciate you, ma'am. You said that's a good pick. Yes, it's pretty fire, if I do say so myself. You know what I mean? You said you prefer my face. You're funny. I think I'm gonna switch up thumbnails eventually, but I don't know how I'm gonna switch them up. But if my face is gone, there's a lot more space to try to get like eye-catching shit. But then at the same time, I've been doing that the whole time, so I don't want to like fuck my. It's not gonna fuck my views up, but like, I don't want to like throw anything off. But I'll probably start trying new shit eventually, like slowly implementing different thumbnails. But at the end of the day, for the people who know me already, it doesn't really matter. So we're not trying to stress ourselves out too much over fucking thumbnails. That's one thing I noticed about even the big creators. Nobody's really fucking stressing too hard about a goddamn thumbnail unless it's Mr. Beast or Kai Cenat or some shit. You know what I mean? The mega super stars of this YouTube shit. They're not even YouTubers. Mr. Beast is definitely a YouTuber, but Kai is more of a excuse me. Kai is more of a Twitch streamer who has a YouTube. That's how I kind of see. That's how I see Kai. He's both. He's shit. Imagine I get to Kai levels. That's insane. Imagine. I wonder if he even like sleeps well. I probably wouldn't be able to sleep well. That's a different level of fucking success right there. Kai Cenat, you probably. I feel like everybody knows about Kai Cenat. It don't matter what age group. But anyways, I kind of got caught up. This is what Tiffany said before we move back over to YouTube. She said, residents of Thornton Township, come on out. Easter fresh food and produce giveaway this Saturday from 12 till TIL. You know, let me stop being a dick. From 12 till 5 p.m. Remember, I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. I will always love the people and provide for the people, no matter what. They not like us. And you know that they not like us is Kendrick Lamar should fucking sue her. You know how she's always suing people? Kendrick Lamar should fucking sue her for using that not like us bullshit. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of hearing it. And I don't want to hear it from you. If I hear, of all people saying not like us, Tiffany saying that shit, fuck that. Grating to my ears. And she's not even West Coast. Why is she even... Anyway, I have a lot of questions about Tiffany's taste in music. Everything's West Coast for her. Get the fuck away from the West, bro. Shit. She probably never even heard Good Kid, Mad City. I swear to God she never heard it. I swear to God she never heard it. She don't even know nothing about no Kendrick Lamar. Ask Tiffany Hinyard, have you ever heard Shireen before? Shireen? What's Shireen? What, a Shireen? What's that? Bitch, you're not no Kendrick Lamar fan. Anyways. That's my rant about her and Kendrick. She only knows the hits. One would say she's not a fan of anybody. Can you imagine Tiffany Hinyard actually being like genuinely supportive of someone other than herself? I don't know. Like just selflessly supportive. You just want to see that person win. I don't really know if Tiffany can do that. Shit. How can she come up? She's a hits type of person. But anyways, I'm already done. I already said I was going to stop. She heard of Tiff Haddish, LOL. What does that mean? You said, I'm glad I ain't like her. Her saying it is a compliment, to be honest. Y'all funny. Y'all funny as fuck. I was gonna show y'all some shit, bro. I was legitly gonna show y'all some shit. I was going to show you this. Oh, there we go. I remember. It was the phone calls. Richard.
For your loss.
So this is the...
Y'all was in the comments earlier saying that too. I've been putting it off. Richard Allen. Sorry about the... Wow. My caps lock. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. Before we even get into the phone calls, shit, there's another interrogation. 13 hours ago, Richard Allen, full first police interrogation. Wait, so this was the second one. October 26, 2022. And then this would be October 13th, Richard Allen. Okay, we can fuck with this. Y'all trying to fuck with this? What y'all saying? Hold on, let me change the title. Oh no, it's just interrogation jail call night. I'll leave that the same. That's fine. That works. Let me close this back. That works. What y'all saying? Hell nah, fuck nah, or hell yeah, let's do it. So I'm fine with it. I got work in 3 hours. I can't stop watching. Yo, it be that way sometimes, Laney. Let's go check it out real quick. First interrogation. Let's see how far we could get through this bitch. Let's see if anything's interesting about it. That first interrogator sucked ass though, so maybe we'll get a better understanding with the first interrogation. You said phone calls. Skull Art really wants them damn phone calls. We'll get there. There's a lot of Richard Allen to cover. You know what I mean? I feel like I don't want to jump the gun.
See you later, Richard. Thank you. I gave you one of my cards. There it is. I think you did. I probably set it down. Right there. Good. So the reason we wanted to talk to you is about the Adam Libby case. Okay. And appreciate your time in doing that. And as a formality, before we talk to anybody about these things, I want to make sure you understand you're not under arrest or anything like that, okay? And the door here is open. You can leave anytime you want. I'd be glad to give you a ride back or whatever. So, but we need to make sure that we go cover a formality here. And I'm going to get to the page here where it's at. This is a Miranda warning. So before we ask any questions, you need to understand your rights. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer for advice before we ask any questions and have it with you.
This is super unfair.
I understand what I am doing.
I don't know. I just feel like it's just, and he has to sign it. I just feel like it's unwise to do these interrogations without a lawyer, especially over a murder, especially if you're in the area. Like, god damn, bro. You know what I mean? And again, people who do this type of shit typically want to stick around and explain themselves. So that's red flag number one.
Going to do it. The information he got to you was that you were on the trail between 1:30 and 3:30. Does it make any sense? Okay. And that you had parked at the old Farm Bureau building. I think that may have been the old welfare office out there. Well, and while at the Freedom Bridge, you saw 3 females and noted that one was taller and had black or brown long hair. This is basically what he had written down. Okay. And maybe even got some information about your phone or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, great. So now you understand everything. So I want to make sure that we just kind of get some information from you. And we get started here off the bat with today's date, which is Thursday. And today is 10.
What's up, Dreadhead? Welcome in, brother.
22. What time do you have, Tony?
It's 11:15.
10:45. And your full name is?
Richard.
H-A-R-D.
Matthew.
Maybe it's just me, but I wouldn't even get myself involved. I wouldn't have even showed the fuck up. Honestly, why would, put yourself in this position. These girls die. They don't have a suspect. You're in this small town. And you happen to be walking that day. You didn't see nobody. There's nothing to really tell other than I was there. You didn't see nobody. You don't have any clues where it's like, ooh, I just need to tell the police this. It's hurting my conscience right now. If I don't tell the police, then they may never solve the case. I gotta tell them about that one guy in that black trench coat that I saw drive away really awkwardly. There's no reason for you to tell them you were there. Would you go to the police station in this small town and be like, hey, by the way, those 2 girls that got murdered, oh yeah, I was on that trail. About 1 to 3. That's it. Have a good day. I don't care who the fuck told me to go tell them that. Girl, I'm not telling nobody nothing. I didn't see shit. So I find that odd. That's a bit odd.
Allen. That's A-L-L-E-N. Mm-hmm. Okay, and how old are you now?
50 years old.
Okay. Your date of birth?
9/9/72.
Okay, great. Could I ask you to write down the social number where the X is at right there?
I'm in the 50-year-old club this year.
I'm beyond that, actually. So.
Just turned. No.
Sorry. Hard to believe. And do you know your driver's license number off the top of your head?
No.
Don't worry about it. The home address, I didn't get it once.
Do you guys remember your license number off the top of your head? Who the fuck knows their license number? I barely know my social security number. Asking me if my shit starts with a Y. Maybe y'all could look me up with that. Who knows their license plate? Who knows their license number? Their driver's license number? Anybody in the chat? Put yes in the comments if you know your driver's license number.
I was out there. What is it?
1967.
67.
What's up, Carol? We live, baby.
White man. Drive.
Okay. And the phone number we contacted at.
Okay, let's skip this phone number. Fuck shit.
You don't. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Okay.
Prior to the number.
Okay. Okay. So let's see. And
wait, you guys actually know your fucking driver's license number? You guys are lying. Stop lying. You guys actually know it? That's crazy. Good for you. Such fucking. You guys probably know your cardinal. You guys probably also know your cardinal directions. You fucking well-adjusted human beings. What's up with you guys? Like, damn, chill. You didn't have to stun on me like that.
Yeah.
It's an Android, a Google.
Okay. What's your email address? RICK2045 at frontier.com.
Now they're over here saying it's like my social. Man, this is a lot different. I don't know what state y'all living in with my shit long as shit. That's longer than my social. Everybody enter your social into the chat. 1, 2. No, I'm playing. I'm joking. Please don't enter your social into the chat.
Do you have any other email addresses? I got a couple myself, so I have. Yeah, I've got. I don't use it very often. It's Foojaka, Foojacka.
You said 55555 type shit.
At gmail.com.
Type shit.
And I had an Yahoo at some point too, but I don't remember what it was. Okay, great. What kind of social media do applications do you use, like Facebook?
Next thing you know, your credit score is plummeting. Like, yo, what's going on with my credit score? Nah, I'm playing. Oh shit, the chat timed out. Hold on, so this is a lot of formality, folks. That's why I'm just bullshitting right now. I'm gonna skip forward a little bit more until they get into these into the actual questioning. But they're asking for his Gmail and his phone number and all this random shit.
Not at all. Do you have a Facebook account? Oh, my wife does. I don't.
It's not that funny.
Okay. And does she post often?
They're over here laughing their asses off about this.
All the time. And she does. Okay, all right. So what is your marital status? Married, okay. And have you been married before? No. Okay. Number of children, we were talking about your kids, your daughter.
That marital status about to go to single. After he started eating his shit, there's no coming back from that. Ain't no coming back from that. I don't care how much your girl love you. She find out you're eating your own shit, I think it's over. You know what I'm saying? Move on, bro. Just move on.
He's originally from the Philippines, but lived in Canada.
Let me skip a little bit more, talking about family.
91. And any other vocational training, college classes? Went to Ivy Tech, like a couple semesters. What'd you study there? Accounting.
You're funny, Jaina.
Okay. Any other vocational training or? Okay. Well, I was in the military, but. Okay, that's a question coming up here. Were you involved in any fraternal organizations, clubs, or athletics, or anything like that in school? I did some track.
God damn, they're really talking about nothing. Let's they're just talking about his background, what are you capable of? Are you good at choking people out? Are you athletic? You know what I'm saying? Are you good at making people disappear?
Sometimes I understand. Was there a particular reason why you didn't stay in management, or? Tired of it, the bureaucracy.
He said he was tired of the bureaucracy. You sound like a bum to me, bro. Just saying. Whenever you hear that word start getting thrown around and shit, do you have a job?
Walk back and sit on the. When you turn around and go down the other fork, there's a bench that overlooks, and sat there for a few minutes and walked back out and left.
Yo, road tripping. That's why we live, bro. Come on, man. Shit, get yourself a glass of water and tune in. You know what I'm saying? Welcome in.
Okay. Anything else you remember? Where was you parked your car? Said there was. The big parking lot wasn't there at the time, right? Oh, you mean which one? Where the bridge is at. I don't think it was there. So there's if you went over behind,
You caught me off guard. You said, Raven said, wife, how's the food in there? Him, shitty. I read it at first and I didn't get it, and then I got it. That shit funny as fuck. Hold on, I'm gonna pin that. I don't know why that shit was so funny. I don't know why that shit was so funny to me. Hey, I'll tell you what, the food is quite shitty in there, specifically for him, quite literally.
The back road that went up in it, there was a bridge, not the main bridge. There was a smaller bridge where you could park there, or you could park over on the other side. And I remember I didn't park over there where it's a farmer's entrance or something. I remember I didn't park there because I had told him something about there were a couple vehicles there when I left, so I parked somewhere, either parked over on the bridge side, or there used to be a little building there. I could have parked there. There was a trail until they got the whole thing done.
Okay. When you're talking about the bridge, just so I'm clear, you're talking about that big blue bridge, the Freedom Bridge or whatever that goes over the highway?
Well, that's the big blue bridge, but before that was there was a, if you're going out of town, you would take the road that I think is where the park is. It veers off, it winds off this way, and there's a road, the first road you come, well, I don't know if it's the first road, but there's a road that takes off to the right, and there's houses, and then it just kind of turns into a lane, and there was a small bridge up there before. I mean, I think it's still there if you were...
Like the one, okay, so you're talking about the one-lane bridge kind of that goes over the street?
It wasn't used. It wasn't a bridge that was used, I guess is what I'm saying. It was just, there was a parking area up there that you could park in.
Okay.
And that's where that's where quite a few people would park before I mean, now there's a nice parking space, but before it was either you parked there or you parked over in the farmer's thing. And I mean, at one point they had it marked that they didn't want you parking there, so and I know it wasn't over there because I told them something about some cars that were there, so I would have been parked up on the bridge side of things, I guess is what I'm saying.
I guess it won't happen. So this is kind of an overview of the area. So obviously this is the Blue Bridge here over the Hoosier Heartland High.
Why would you even do, what did you see? What did you see? Did you see a guy? Did you see a car? Did you see something you think you should bring to the police? Why would you come? Why? Why? I don't care what the fuck your wife told you. Oh, honey, you should go to the police station because you were walking around that day and they might not. No, sweetheart, the fuck I am. That's how I would have. What? This is what just doesn't make sense to me. I don't think I'm buying the story that his wife told him that he should just go and talk to them. What the fuck am I talking to them for? I don't care if I was on that trail the very hour that the girls went missing. If I know I didn't have anything to do about it and I didn't see anything, why would I go? Maybe I'm wrong. But that just adds me into the whole equation now, which is what he did. He interjected himself into the situation.
Okay.
You said 6 years later. Yeah, I mean, it took him that long, but I mean, it was his fault for fucking talking to them in the first place. I don't know. I just don't find, maybe he thought that somebody would have seen him there, so he needed to bring it up to like get ahead of it. I don't know what was going through his mind, but this shit, it's not really checking out for me.
Yeah, and so, can you mark on
What's up, Robin? Good morning.
You think you marked out? Good.
Show me the Blue Bridge again.
Blue Bridge, here's the Hoosier Heartland Highway. Here's Main Street. The road that comes out from downtown goes out onto Heartland. And here's the Andersons. I think that's going to be their fertilizer plant. And down there's their
So that's the Blue Bridge. I mean, it's right there. It would have been over in here somewhere probably.
Well, that's one of the parking areas. Okay, and then
or it would have been, there was a old building somewhere.
over, this map was taken back when the building was still there. And this is the building that was on the bridge, the trail side of the bridge.
Okay.
So down at
this way, I think you went down this way and like there was an underpass or something?
Yep, that's right. And then there's a building right there, if you can see it.
Okay. So it would either been there or there.
Okay. All right, very good. Which way do you think you would have traveled to get to this building that particular day, if you remember?
Just that way it loops around.
Okay.
I don't know the names of the roads or anything. I mean, I can show you where I drove, but it just, on the way, the road that goes out, it's basically the same way that you get to this one, except, no, it's further up. And you go down and it like...
Complete waste of... Anyways, Tammy, thank you for the $2. I appreciate you, man, for the big super sticker. Throw out some blue hearts for Tammy Williams. I appreciate you, man. You say he should pull a Wade and ask for McDonald's that he would never get, then fess up. Then years later try and say he's innocent. That is kind of what Wade did, huh? That's exactly what Wade did. No, I mean, I don't think he's in here to... He's really in here to tell a story, which baffles me. I don't know why he would do that. He wouldn't ask for no McDonald's because your boy low-key wants to be here. It's like, all right.
Comes down and goes around somewhere and comes over on the other side.
Okay, very good. Okay. Was it ever an occasion where you might have gone to the park another way? Did you go out here very often?
I appreciate you, Lainey and Leanne. You guys are awesome, man. Shout y'all out. If you got to go to sleep, Leanne, you better go to sleep. Stop playing.
Not, like, I wouldn't say often. I mean, we go out. We may go once a month. We may go twice in 1 week. I mean, it was just kind of one of those where when we felt like walking the trail, we'd go. I mean, I could say we visited it regularly. During the summer months, we didn't really go out there much in the winter. We may have gone on a time or two, but...
Right, okay. So was it ever something, was there ever a time that you guys took another path to get out there besides going around this way, or do you remember anything like that?
I think there's a way if you go past where you park the farmer's entrance that I was telling you about.
I think it's down.
Oh, shit. Oakland in the house, 77th and MacArthur. Shout you out, Lena. Thank you so much for the big 5. Shout out Oakland, man. Shout you out. Hell yeah. I appreciate you, man. And shout out Oakland. It's been a minute. It's been a while. I feel like that's MacArthur. Once we get into the numbers, I'm not too sure exactly where you are, but it feels like a familiar area. I appreciate you. I feel like I passed through before, once or twice.
Entrance across from a residence that's a farmhouse.
Second live, we gotta hang. I appreciate you, Leanne. Everybody shout out Lena, man. Throw out some hearts for Lena. I appreciate you for the super chat.
Does that make any sense?
Okay, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I know that there's a way that winds around, and you can eventually get back to 200 or whatever road it is. We're off of 200 North, I think it is. It comes out somewhere down there, but we only did that. I think we found that by accident one time. We thought we'd go that way and try to get back, and it was we eventually came out that way somewhere.
Okay.
But no, I wouldn't. If we were going to go there, we would go down through town and.
Okay. Good to know. All right. So let's talk more about what you remember doing that day, remember seeing that day.
Okay.
You gave an account to the officer who talked to you. And do you remember how that was prompted, how that happened, that you happened to talk to the officer?
I don't remember if it was the next day or a couple days, but shortly after they were asking for anybody that was there to come in. So I went down. I got home from work and my wife said, they want to talk, because I had obviously told her that I was there. And she said they want to talk to anybody that was down there, may have any information. I don't have much, but
I obviously will go down, so we went down to the sheriff's.
And he had no fucking information to give. What's the point of going? There we go. That's better. Oh, I don't want audio. I just want the light. Thank you very much. Okay, we're almost there. We're almost there. We're not at our final form yet because this is too dark. Obviously. Even though the dark vibe is pretty chill, but it's a little too dark. You feel me? Hold on now. Then we hit him with the little bam. Okay, now it's evening time. Now it's nighttime. Now it's you know what I'm saying? Let's continue.
Station, and I don't remember who it was, came out and talked to me and said that he would get my name and information, and then I was driving downtown for something, and I know that, remember, he called me when I was in the car because I pulled over and talked to him. It was a DNR officer, and he asked me if I could come down and talk there, or if I want to meet somewhere, and I don't remember how or why. I think they were really busy, obviously, crowded probably. So I was heading down to, it was the Save-A-Lot parking lot down there, and I told him I would just meet him there if that was okay. So he came down, we talked. He looked at my phone, took my phone information, and I think he got some, we took the battery out and everything, he got information off of us. So that's pretty much it. And I mean, I gave him the account. Forgive me, I mean, it's been years, and I thought about it a lot. As time goes on,
Why would you have to think about it a lot? I wouldn't think about it more than 2 days. Why are you thinking about it a lot? I don't know, man. This shit just don't make no sense. Why the fuck? Like, this shit don't make no sense. Oh, so I went there and I took a walk and I parked up there and that's it. Why say anything?
it's like I said, I think I was there probably around noon. It could have been a little before noon or a little after noon. Walked down, back an hour, so probably 1:30, 1:45, depending on exactly what time it was that I got there that day. I just remember walking down the trail, and I told him that when I was approaching the trailhead, I guess is what I'd call it, there was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I just remember it looking like one of them was probably watching baby.
Wait, what the fuck? Oh, see, we didn't hear this part, guys. This is why I wanted to do this before the phone call, so I could have a full understanding of this guy's story. Because now this story, now he's seen people. Now that it would, okay, let's.
There was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I told him that when I was approaching the trailhead, I guess is what I'd call it, there was 3 girls walking off the trail, and I just remember it looking like one of them was probably watching, babysitting, but watching the other 2 because they looked a little younger, and they looked very similar. I don't know if they were sisters or whatever, but the other one didn't necessarily. But I remember seeing them walking off the trailhead, and I didn't.
All right, so it's one or the other, right? It's one or the other, right? One, he killed them, right? Created this whole story. Maybe he wanted them to feel like there was another girl who was older, and she attacked the other 2 girls, maybe, possibly, and that's why they went missing. Or 2, he actually just happened to see them and he didn't do anything. You said the 3 girls. No. He's saying this is him remembering what he saw when he was on the trail. So apparently, right, if I'm getting this proper, because there's people who've been covering this case from the start, he saw 3 girls around that time he took the walk, and we're assuming that the 2 of them were the ones who went missing, right? Something along those lines is what he's trying to get across. So either he's making this story up, he went and did what he had to do, and now he's trying to, I don't know, explain it away, or that's really what he saw and he didn't do anything. Do you think it's a red herring? It probably is. Honestly, bro. Why? Again, we have to go back to the understanding that his wife was like, oh yeah, you should probably go and talk to them since you were on the trail. That's bullshit. Nobody is going to listen to their wife if they told them to do that. I'll be like, no, babe, I'm not going to do that. What? Well, let's continue.
Anybody. I walked down, like I said, I look at the water, I walk back, and I said, talk behind me, I guess, that bench that overlooks the creek bed and all that. And I remember telling him when I left, I remember there being, I think there was 2 vehicles down there on that farmer's entrance that I told you about. Mm-hmm. And that's why I know I didn't park there, because obviously I wouldn't recall seeing cars there if I parked there.
The farmer's entrance, are we still talking about this area here, or is there some other location here?
There's a pull-in, like right next to the trail is all I can tell you. There's a pull-in right next to the trail, and the trail actually leads up to the trail.
Yeah, it's hard to see from here, but I think this is what's called the old Mears.
Probably. There was a farmhouse across from it, is all I knew.
If you said 3 girls weren't there, they would have come forward. Exactly. And especially that it's a small town, everybody fucking heard about this situation. Like, everybody probably heard about this fucking situation. So they didn't hear about it and say, oh yeah, we saw him and he's fine. He was behind us and nothing. And say 2 of the 3 girls were the ones that are missing now, right? Or the ones that, the bridge guy dealt with. Where's the 3rd one? There should be at least 1 person coming forward at the very least, right? I don't know. It doesn't make sense. But again, keep going back to the original point that I'm making. Why say anything in the first place if you don't really have shit to talk about?
Right. And it was like I guess it looked like where you take farm equipment in and out or something, but I know at one point they flagged it that it said no parking, so we didn't park there for a period of time, but...
Did you ever park there before when you went?
Yeah.
A lot of times you did? Okay.
We used to when it wasn't marked. Mm-hmm. We did a cleanup down there one time I brought a bunch of Walmart people, kind of a community engagement thing, and we did a cleanup down there. It's the year that they tore down, we tore down that, if you go down, not the High Bridge way, but that one where I sit on the bench.
Yeah.
That I was telling you about. If you go down a hill, there used to be a little shed, a little shack down there, and they tore that, and we were there that day that we tore that down.
Okay. Yeah. Now, you guys did that with Walmart. Was that a local Walmart you worked at?
Lafayette.
Lafayette, yeah. Okay. One on Commerce or the one on
Commerce.
Okay, all right. Mm-hmm. So, you guys came up and did that. Do you know when that was?
Oh, Lord, no. Well...
It was before or after this?
2006. Oh, it would have been... I wasn't even with... It was what, 17?
Yep. When the girls were out there.
13... 17. I wasn't even with Walmart at the time. I would have already been with CVS, yeah.
Okay. So sometime in the...
Yeah, it would have been way before.
Okay.
I went to CVS in, 13. So it would have had to been before 13.
Okay. So you were out there then working on the trails?
I'm going to say a lot earlier than that because I worked in Chicago, south of Chicago, for a couple of my last years with Walmart when I was actually running that store. So probably around 9, 10 maybe.
Okay. All right. Somewhere around there. So you were working out there in trails. Had you been familiar with the trails before then? Was there a time that you had been out trails before that?
We had walked, after we moved to Delphi, we started experimenting. There were trails that we didn't know were there, but, you'd hear about one and you'd go. And I'm sure by that point, well, obviously I know.
Do people just walk trails? I guess I can't judge. No, I'm not even gonna search it. I grew up in the country, but we would go for walks. But there would be like an end goal. Like we would go, my dad would go back, like there's like a bushy back end to our streets and shit. It's nothing but bush, wildland. They have jaguars, like tapirs, all types of random dangerous animals and shit. But you would go back there to either exercise, maybe go fishing, maybe go hunting, you know. What else would you do? You would always go back there to do something. We would go for like iguanas. There would be iguana season in Belize. People eat iguanas, so it's like a season where you can't hunt them because you can't hunt them during certain seasons. Every time you go for a walk, quote unquote, there's some sort of a task at hand. I don't feel like you just go walking in the woods. Do you just go walking in the woods? Maybe you do. I want to say I've done it before with no plan, but I feel like there's still somewhat of a plan. Like I'm going to take a weapon, or I'm going to take some fishing supplies, or you know, like we're going to end up doing something. The fact that he's just out here wandering doesn't really make sense to me. Yeah, people walk and hike. No jaguars in Indiana. I guess it's different. Yeah, I don't know. I guess so. People be just hiking for no reason. Okay. You don't do anything. You just go out into the bush and you come back. I'll walk in the woods for zero reason. Okay. All right. Okay. Take the dog. See, that's a reason. If you take the dog, there's a reason. Maybe it's just maybe I'm just not maybe whenever I would go out in the bush, it would be like we would be hunting or we would be like doing some shit. But anyways, Shella, thank you for the 5. I hope you're still in here. Have a great night, Miss Shella. I appreciate the big super chat. Have a great night. Everybody shout her out. I appreciate you, Shella. I will usually hold a sharp rock, though, when I walk in the woods alone. Well, listen, I'd say upgrade from that sharp rock, because I don't know what that sharp rock is really going to do against a bear or some shit. The bear's going to look at you and be like, oh, cool, sharp rock, and just maul your ass. So, I don't know. I'm playing. I wish you much protection out in your journey in the woods. Anyways, let's get back into it.
By that point, I knew about him because that's how I don't know how I got associated with the Dan something or other that runs the Erie. I think it was Dan. Run like the Erie Canal thing. Mm-hmm. And McCain. Okay. I don't remember how I became acquainted with him, but I asked him because at Walmart, you know, as a leader, they always want you to be involved in the community, and I mean it's a good thing, sure. But you can also give money to because we brought.
You said no bears in Texas. See, I'm out here shedding my fears and my worries. Y'all ain't got no damn bears in Texas. Really? I guess it's not sustainable for no bears.
Brought so many people out for that event for a day. We had so many hours, and we were able to donate money because of that from Walmart to the Erie Canal Foundation or whatever. So we worked. I guess the question is, I had been on the trails before that day, and we also worked out at the Carrollton Bridge that day. There's a tow path or something. We cleaned up some stuff along there too.
Oh, okay. Yep, makes sense. All right, well, that's good.
So, I sat there for a few minutes and left, and like I said, there were a couple vehicles. I may have told him the exact makes. I'm not sure. I just remember one was like a sedan, and I think maybe one was an SUV. I'm not sure.
Was this guy just bored on a fucking Tuesday morning? Is that like, bruh, you just decided to wake up and ruin your life this morning? You know what? Fuck it. I don't have much to do. I'm going to go down to the station and just fuck around and never come home. Like, what the? Oh, my God. This is a nothing story. This is a story full of nothing. So either you wanted some attention or you're trying to interject yourself into the story because you're scared that somebody may have seen something or you didn't do something properly and you want to make sure everything's good. Either one.
I have to look back at what I said that when I interviewed with him.
And that was at the, you call it farmer's entrance, those cars were at the farmer's entrance?
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. What about where you parked? Were there any other vehicles? I know there were no vehicles where I parked because I don't remember telling him. I mean, if he asked, I didn't see anything there that day. Okay. A lot of people would park at that farmer's entrance because I'm thinking that was probably when they didn't really want you parking there, and that's probably why I didn't park there. But it's much closer to the trails, so a lot of people like to park there. You walk in and you're actually like halfway through the trail, so you can walk one way and the other and leave. But I know at one point, like I said, they didn't want you parking.
So I'm curious because this is actually a nothing story. Absolutely nothing. You went there, sat down, and left. You could have absolutely said nothing. So I'm curious how they caught him up. The video? That's how they caught him up? Did they? I'm not really remembering. I think they had explained it the last live stream, but I'm sure they're gonna start confronting him really soon. But how did they catch him up with like nothing to go off of? It seems.
So we didn't.
So back then, if you told, he said his report said old Farm Bureau building. So would that be?
I never really knew what that building was. I just remember telling him there was a building there. And if that's where I told him I parked, then that's probably where I parked. Because we, like I said, we would either park. Obviously, the farmer's entrance was always the most convenient, but there was a bridge, a small bridge before the blue bridge. I probably don't know if I got this right. This is Anderson's?
Yes.
So there was a little tiny, it used to be like a one-way bridge.
See, a lot of people are saying shit like this. You said they didn't. It took torture, a crooked judge, and DA. CCC, how do we know he got tortured? How do we know? Well, I will say the light situation is bizarre. Holding him on suicide watch for that long is crazy. Okay, so that might be a form of torture right there that's not really used on anybody else. But how do we know for sure? That's all I'm saying. And I hear your side because we were playing around with that idea the last live stream. But on the other side, right? On the other side of the argument, why would he come forward with this information otherwise? They have videos actually? Well, email me the videos then. Email me the videos. Don't just tell me you guys have my email. Send it to me. I'll put it on Patreon or something. But look at the pics of him, and when you go to prison before conviction, he said he was suicidal. Anyways, let's continue. I just don't know why he would come and interject himself into this situation. That's what doesn't make sense to me.
Even a road anymore. Like, you could either go towards the Blue Bridge or you drive under it too. Yeah, I think you drive.
Now I follow.
It wasn't, that parking lot wasn't there on the other side, so you didn't. But yeah, you would. You went, like I said, you take this road that forks off, coming out of Delphi somewhere, and then you take a right, and it's just a little road, and there's some people that live along it. But then at the end of the road, it goes up to this. Like I said, there's like a parking area where people used to park.
I think I know what you're talking about.
I think you can't see it on here, but what you're describing is a road that leads up to this parking area that you're talking. It's out of the side of that side of it.
Sure, it's probably, yeah.
Okay. So, how far out to the bridge did you go that day when you were out there? Do you remember?
How far what?
How far out onto the
High Bridge? I have no idea how many feet it is. The way I always know is there's one of those platform things that stick off the side, and I usually, years past, like 9, 10, let's see, 6, 7, between 6 and 10 probably. I've actually been across the High Bridge back when it was in a little bit better shape, but somewhere in there, 8, 9, 10, somewhere it started getting pretty rugged and stopped going across it. But for the most part, I didn't go past that one whatever the thing is that sticks out. I'd go out there and kind of look. Like I said, fisherman, I'd look and see if I see any fish or anything, and then I went back the other way.
Yeah, I think those were back in the day. If a train was coming and you were out there, then you could possibly get out of the train's way.
Exactly.
I think I would still want to be on it when a train came.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that day I don't remember what year it was, but it was well before 16, 17. I don't know, just decay.
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. So if you were parked there,
You said he thought he was helping? Man, I call that being stupid, in my opinion.
and correct me if I
I call that being a fucking dumbass. If that was just the case, if that was the only case, and this man is innocent, let's say he's a moron. Don't do that again. You can't shit. You were in the area. You don't have nothing to do about it. You don't have nothing to do with it though. But you just, I don't know. If there's something that you think is going to help the case, I guess obviously go. But I just don't see what information he thought he had to make it relevant enough to come to the police and have this whole little sit down.
The bridge?
Over here, in that building, I'm sorry. So if you're parked there, how did you get on the trail? Where did you walk?
At one point, you either walked down the road, but then at one point they had a trail there. Not a trail, I wouldn't even call it a trail. They had a gravel path that led to the new thing that they were doing. I call it the trailhead. When they started doing all that, there was a trail that would, I think it ran along the road, if I remember right, and then it just cut over to where the trailhead was at. You couldn't really park. I just remember where that path was at. You'd think you could park there, but it was no parking. So you had to walk. You either parked over here and it was actually closer if you went over here and you could just walk to the bridge that way. And then if you went this way, it was a little bit further because you walked along the road to
walk along the road. Yo, have a good night, Mary.
At one point, I think you walked along the road.
I appreciate you. Have a great night.
Honestly, I don't even remember. Where's the trails here? That's why I said at some point, it was probably after they put that little pathway in that we even parked there. I don't think we ever even used that until they put that path there, and it was just because it was the only way to get to trailhead from that side. And like I said, at one point, they didn't want you parking down here at this farmer thing, so they had put in a gravel path in, and you would park there. So you either parked over there or you parked there and walked down the gravel path. And the path cut over to where the trailhead thing is. So I guess what I'm saying is I don't know that we ever parked at that little building, whatever it was, until they laid that gravel path to it. And I think we thought that was a new, I guess, designated parking area, and that's when we parked there once in a while. We'd still park over here once in a while. It just depended on which. And like I said, there was times when we'd park there on and off whenever they didn't have it posted. They didn't want you parking there. And we probably did a time or two when they did have it posted, but we didn't make a habit of it.
So that car that was in your garage, would that have been what you drove out there that day?
Oh my God. Let me think here. It would have either been that one or our Great Ford 500. We kind of switch vehicles back and forth. It's kind of because I've oftentimes worked further away from home, and when I was working in Peru, the car's what do I say? It's a 16.
So prior to that, I'd had a little red Ford Focus, and our trucks
He's
were...
over here going down fucking memory lane and shit. Maybe bro just was trying to help for real. Because what the fuck? This is what I'm saying. Like, what? Oh, no. He's definitely not nervous, but I feel like it's because, you know, guilty or not, he feels like there's no way that they think it's him. I think we've established that at this point. Like, guilty or not, in his head, there's no way that these two think it's him. Not right now. I feel like at this point, I think this is the first interview, because the second one, there was already some implication where they thought it was him. But I feel like at this point, he's nice and like, he's an open book right now. I want to see how they broke it to him that they think it's him.
We get our truck at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So on truck day, I'd be driving over to Peru at like 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, you said Ron was sus as fuck, but we went through Ron already. We already went through Ron, but that's my other live stream. Get a membership and go check it out. But let's continue.
And one day I was driving and I was tired. I mean, there's often times you'd be tired, but this day I was just so tired, like to the point I almost and should have just pulled over. But I made it over there and I turned off, didn't take the highway all the way up. I took the turn off that takes you into the back way to Peru, and made it all the way in town, and literally I fell asleep. And I woke up when my airbag went off. I veered off the road and hit a SUV parked on the side of the road. And literally that's when I woke up. Like, I didn't even know. It took me several seconds, if not a minute, to get my bearings and even figure out what had happened. I still didn't know, because when it hit the SUV, it threw it clear up over the sidewalk into somebody's front porch. Like, I literally didn't brake at all. I was asleep, so I hit it full speed. So anyway, I get out and there's not even anything there. I'm like, what did I hit? And there was a person stopped on the other side of the road. Anyway, long story short, they called the police, blah, 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 and I had to get, that's when I bought that black car.
The black car being the 216?
Yeah, the one in the garage.
Okay.
And so I got that car because I have to drive back and forth and want something that gets good gas mileage. So my point is, I was driving the black car, and then when I transferred and came back to Delphi, I didn't need the gas mileage anymore, and it was a nicer car, so I gave it to my wife. And from that time until just earlier this year, I drove the gray car and she drove the black car. Now, if I was going somewhere out of town, you know, a lot of times I would use the black car, depending on how far we're going. The gray car was dependable, but it's just one of those where the longer, I guess, more recently, I started driving, you know, if I was going to go to Lafayette or something for an appointment or whatever, I'd take the black car just because it's more dependable. And
yeah, she works at her.
But anyway, yeah. And then during that time period, I drove the gray Ford 500, and she would drive the black car, had her little cat license plate and all that on it. And then when I got her van, the gray car pretty much had it. And it was either, I had that and a truck as well. I had a truck for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years. I bought it used, and we didn't drive it hardly ever. And it was one of those where get rid of them while they're still worth something, so we traded them both in, and I got the van that she drives now. And then I went back to driving the black car. So
I remember right, you said you were gone to Miami County to see your mom. Mexico. Would you have planned to drive the black car because that was a trip out of town?
I wouldn't have planned, no. During that time, it was still, the gray car was still, it's not like it was a junk car. We bought it brand new. It was a 2006. But I just say in the last, 3-4 years, it's not, the car didn't run well. It's just one of those where it's old enough that, you don't want to get over somewhere. Especially because usually if I am driving, it's because she's at work and I don't want to end up having to get stranded somewhere. But that was more recently, so that's why I don't know which, it was either the gray or the black one that day.
Damn, he went through all that just to explain why he's driving the gray car. All right, bud.
In the gray one.
Okay.
It was an 06 Ford 500.
So then, you get on the trails and you said you saw 3 girls. Where was it you saw the 3 girls?
They were up around the trail. I mean, I didn't interact with them. It was up around the trailhead somewhere.
So, but you hope
Like when I say they were leaving, yeah.
Okay.
I'm assuming they were leaving, or they came from down where those cars parked and they were going to go back that way. I don't know.
Okay. And then, did you see anybody else when you were out there? Anybody that stand there? Anybody else?
Nobody that stood out, I guess. I mean, if I did see somebody, it didn't click with me. And of course, my memory was a lot better when I talked to him that day. I don't remember seeing. Like I told him, there may have been somebody on the bridge or something when I was coming back through, but I didn't. The only ones that I really noticed seeing were the three girls.
Okay.
Because I was walking towards them, and I mean, they obviously stood out. And like I said, I remember it looked like an older girl with two younger girls.
Okay.
Just walking the trail.
Okay.
And I guess I just assumed that she was probably watching them or in charge of them or whatever.
What do you think that three girls situation was? Do you think that's just random? Do you think that's true? I saw these three girls, one older, two younger. They were just walking the trail. He made sure that point was made clearly. You know, clearly and coherently. He made sure that point got through to them. You saw those three girls though. Everything else was just regular. But I saw those three girls. Man, listen, if you don't keep your ass inside. Now, I think if say he did do it, that would be something you would want to do. I feel like to cover yourself just in case there were witnesses, just in case. You might want to do something like this to make the story sound better. Or just to get ahead of a story that somebody may have seen you. Well, this was the reason they saw me and I just happened to be out there. Other than that, it doesn't really make too much sense to me. I wouldn't come forward to tell them a nothing story with three. Okay, there was three girls. You know, like, why would you come forward?
Okay. If you thought you saw somebody when you were coming back through from the bridge, where they were on the bridge?
I don't really remember seeing anybody that day, but I don't know. So if I did see somebody else, they didn't jump out to me or anything else. I don't. Like I said, it could have been people down around the cars, but I don't remember. I just remember seeing a couple cars parked over there. Mm-hmm. Like I said, Dan and SUV or something like that.
Okay. And then when you got back to your car, was there any other cars when you got back to your car?
I don't think so. Well, no, because I would have thought through that now.
Okay.
Or just been mine.
Do you know where you went afterwards when you left there?
Well, that day. I always watched the stock market and trading stocks a little
That was
bit.
something else that they remember the officer recorded, something about the stock market. So tell us about that.
I just had a individual trading account with it was Daytech originally, and I think it was TD Ameritrade. I trade stocks, try to get rich, lose money.
Did that work for you?
On and off it did actually, but no, it worked really terribly there for a while, and I don't even do it anymore. So
Okay.
it's just too much of a risk.
So did you have a phone or a watch or something you were looking at the stock market on, or?
I think so. I had a program on my phone to watch stocks. I don't remember exactly when and how long I had it, but yeah, I had a program that I could, depending on the reception you had, of course. If you didn't have any reception, that wouldn't work. And
was it fairly good out there that day?
And that's honestly, I think that's why I went home as quick as I did, because I wanted to get home and watch it on my computer with my stock tickers and all that stuff. So, because I remember what I remember. That was like a hobby, I guess, for me, was watching the stock market and looking at charts and trying to predict what something's going to do and make money off of it.
This guy out here thinks he's Jordan Belfort or something, bruh. Relax, chill out. Over here wasting the money in the damn stock market. I feel like there is a way to win, but you're not that guy. You know what I'm saying? You're not him. You're not him. You need to go to a professional. You're not him. That all those little stock market little programs and shit. You know, go to the professionals. It's the little stock market apps where you could do it yourself. Man, shit. Good luck.
Yeah, that's way out of my league.
Well, it was mine too. I just didn't realize it at the time.
But. What were you wearing that day?
blue jeans, and I'm sure I put on a jacket, because I think it was still fairly cool that day. I don't think it was super warm. I would have put on a jacket, I don't know.
Remember what kind of jacket
Probably
you had back
jeans.
then? I mean,
I've had Carhartt jackets over the years.
color is your jacket?
The one was blue, the one was black. Probably back then it would have been a black one. Had a hood built into it. So it was just a black zip up. I don't even think it was a Carhartt. I think it was an off-brand, but it was like a Carhartt. I could have worn that. I've had sweatshirts like what I threw on today. Hoodies, jackets. I mean, I've got a little bit of everything. Fleece.
Anything else, maybe headgear or anything like that? Wasn't on that day, but wasn't that cold either.
Always kept a hat in my coat, so it would have been like a, I don't know what you call them, skull cap, or just not a big fluffy hat, but a small hat.
So cap on your head, and anything else you've been wearing besides like what kind of shoes? I mean, pretty strange to ask a question like that. But what was, at the time I probably tell you what kind of tennis shoes I had because I usually make them last a very long time.
Well, and I've got shoes that I've had for 10, 12 years probably. It would have been older tennis shoes, or I had military boots.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. Blue jeans, blue jacket kind of matches out a little bit, huh? Nah, I mean, a lot of people wear blue jeans and blue jackets, but, there's a reason he got convicted. I don't know if everybody in the jury got swindled, What's up, Olivia? How you doing? Welcome in, ma'am. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
That I used to wear, but they just don't fit. I've been out of the military forever, so I had some combat boots in my closet that I used to wear occasionally. I don't know if I was still wearing them then or not. I mean, I haven't worn them in years, but could have had a pair of work boots. I don't know. So probably over tennis shoes, but if it was wet out, sometimes I'd wear a boot, like a work boot, or but like I said, the combat boots, because they held water out pretty well.
Okay, great.
And I may have told him that day was wearing, I don't remember.
Do you know what kind of phone you had back then? You just started that phone, do you?
If I do, it's in the closet somewhere. I'm sure I recycled it by now.
Oh, really?
Because I've had this for... My other one die. They'll tell me. Go where I just went to look at years, not. I've gotten this phone. I don't remember when. Long enough that I don't remember when I got it.
Do you have that picture of that car or no?
I don't think I did. Picture of the car on the road. What we would like to do is to be able to confirm some of the information that you've given us so far, and be able to examine your phone. As you're well aware, phones go everywhere with everybody, and they tell a story about a lot of what people do. And sometimes the information on our phone can confirm or, maybe not necessarily confirm information about what somebody is saying. We have the ability to be able to extract the data from a phone and be able to look at it and be able to tell where somebody was at.
Yeah, I know that.
Okay. Would that be something you would allow us to take care of, do today and get it done?
How long are you going to have my phone?
Well, we ideally would like to have a phone that you had. When you got that phone, did you take the data from the old phone and move it to the new phone?
I have no idea. I mean, I always try to save contacts.
Right. So you had the phone, like, where'd you get the phone at? What service is it?
I go through Ting. It's an online service, and it's a lot of people don't know about it. It's really inexpensive, and I've had it for years now.
What was it called?
Ting.
Ting, like T-I-N-G.
T-I-N-G.
Never heard of it.
It's online.
So you didn't really go to a store somewhere?
I used to, but I for years now we've been with Ting. You pay full price for your phone, and they have discounted ones, and so usually you'll pay a couple $100 for a phone, or you can pay $600-700, whichever. But as far as the service, I mean, I only pay around $40 a month for 2 phones, and that's pretty much everything.
Your service provider, is that Ting themselves, or is it another?
I think right now it's probably Verizon. It's one of those deals they use. Of course, all of them do that anymore. They use each other's
The big
towers.
corporate towers, and
But I think it's like my phone. Some of it depends on what type of.
Bro, can we scan that shit or not? You know, he's over here talking about Ting and Ping and Ling Ling and all that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Can we scan this bitch or not? We're still getting, they're letting him work himself out. They're letting him talk himself out. But at the end of the day, big dog, can we scan the phone? Or can we not scan the phone? Birdie, thank you for the membership. Welcome in. I appreciate you, Birdie. 284, welcome in.
Phone you have to. Mine is based off of, I'm pretty sure it's off of Verizon right now.
Okay.
I don't remember.
You said he couldn't extract 6 years ago. Yeah, they probably just want his data in general. I'm not even comfortable with the police doing that shit. I mean, what if you catch me for a crime for some other bullshit? Fuck you. I'm not, no, you can't scan my phone. But, they probably just want to know what he's been doing. So, another theory, because there's a lot of people in the chat saying, oh, he's innocent. There could be a theory that the police just want this case closed. It's been so long. But I feel like at the same time, it's been so long. So it's like, we already let the public down. It's not like 5 years later, there's going to be any more of an uproar than there already is. So I don't see any incentive to stretch the truth and just, convict an innocent man. I just think it's a little too convenient that bro came through with this goddamn story for no fucking reason. It just doesn't sit right with me. Why would I do that? I'm trying to put myself in those shoes. 2 girls just died on the fucking bridge, right? And I'm just going to go to the police station with a nothing story and let them know that I was around the place. Fuck no. But that's just me.
Do you remember what you had back then? 2017?
I know I didn't have this one yet. I don't even know if they were making those yet.
I mean, as far as service provider.
He has that Obama phone?
Well, I've had Ting. God, I've had Ting for several years now.
So
I probably would have had Ting.
Okay, they may have changed service providers on you. Ting may have used a different service.
Since I've had this phone, I've never had them come out and say, hey, we're changing your provider. It's just I guess kind of the home system that it works off of. Like I said, it's Verizon. I'm trying to think if it's ever been, you hear about AT&T anymore, but it could have been that at one point.
Okay.
I never had it before we lived in Delphi, though, so I know I'm pretty sure yeah, because I always got my phone. I work at Walmart, so I get my service plans through them because I got discounts through them. So I know
Oh, he does have the Obama phone. He has that. The phone. That's what when he said he works at Walmart, they give you those packages. And I think he's right. It is like in conjunction with like another service provider, but it's like it's kind of like that company's version of like, I guess not charity, but like, what's the word? You know when you sell shit on the cheap for like people to experience the service and shit. It's like a tax break move or something for like the bigger companies, in my opinion. I feel like that's what they're doing. They're probably like doing something. People don't just do shit out of the kindness of their hearts. So it's the bigger boys doing that. You know, you go to Target and it's like, you know, you get grandma like the track phone, not the track phone. You get the little phone set and it's like this $200 phone, this piece of shit. That's the type of phones he's using.
then since I left Walmart, so.
Okay.
I mean, so I went through regular periods prior to that. I've been with Ting forever.
Well, so then what I would like to do, if it's okay with you, would be to have an opportunity to look at the phone and examine some of the data on it. Really would like to get to the phone that you had back then. If you think it's in a closet somewhere in the house,
Yeah. Actually, I don't have, I mean, when my wife comes home, she'll know, if we have it, she'll know exactly where it's at. So.
Okay, all right. So if it's okay with you,
She recycled them, but she may not.
we could start with this phone, be able to extract the data from that, if that's okay with you. And I have a form that I read to folks before we get started on doing something like that, and it goes basically like this: you have the right to require that a search warrant be obtained before you search your property, have the right to refuse consent to a warrantless search, have the right to talk to a lawyer before giving consent to such a search. If you cannot afford a lawyer, one would be appointed for you. I've read the statement of rights. I understand what rights are. I do not want a lawyer at this time. I consent to a warrantless search by the officers of the police department fully described property, and it'll be your cell phone and whoever carrier, and authorize these officers to seize any item of data which they consider as evidence. I understand and know what I am doing.
All right. Shit. I think that's pretty much it for it. They keep grilling them. We'll get into phone calls probably tomorrow night. Get into some phone calls. Getting some telefono calls, you know what I'm saying? Get into some cellular phone calls, you know? Well, it wouldn't be cellular. It wouldn't be cellular. Anyway, I think I'm gonna call it there, folks. That's what we're gonna call that shit. Husband admits to decapitating wife in gruesome murder. God damn. That's the headline I have at 2:44 a.m. That's the first thing I have in my headlines. That shows I need a separate YouTube just for chill. I need a separate YouTube account just for chilling. Because shit. You can't be seeing that on my day off. That's crazy. What's up, Growing Up Oreo? I appreciate you for coming out. Looking forward to it. Yeah. We're gonna do the Richard Allen phone calls. That might be the last for Richard Allen. We'll see though. There's a lot more information about this man circulating, and apparently a lot of new stuff is coming out. So I'll keep my eyes open. Excuse me. Sorry, excuse me. I'll keep my eyes open. Oh my God. I'll keep my eyes open. And we'll go from there. You say you'll see me tomorrow. I appreciate you, Leanne. Thank you for coming out. Everybody who came out, you guys are top tier. All the super chatters, you guys are top tier. Love talking about super chatters. Thank you for the big $2, Miss Irene. Charlie. Thank you for the 2, Irene. And those are euros or pounds, man. Fuck. I think those are euros. Thank you for the 2. Miss Irene. Big shout out to you. But yeah, thank you to all the super chatters, man, all the moderators. We had 2 moderators. We had Mary and we had Jane Robertson Bloom. So I appreciate the moderators for coming out. I appreciate all the midnight, late night owls for coming out as well. Hold on. Hell yeah. And I'm gonna see you guys soon, man. I'm gonna see you guys real soon. Peace out. Love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I love you and there's nothing you can do about it. Type shit. I'm out of here, man. Peace.